Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. But before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. Before we move forward, guys, please continue to smash that like button. Smash it. Subscribe to the channel as well. We are on the route to 2.8k subscribers, and we're about 200 away once we hit the 2.8k to 3k in subscribers, which is massive for the channel. Massive. I can't get there without you guys, and it's massively important that we do so. Listen, I know I haven't been able to review the Man City game. Obviously, I was at the Bridge on Saturday. Fortunately, we lost 1-0. The last time I went to the Bridge to watch Chelsea City, we lost 1-0 as well. So I'm slightly a bit annoyed about it. But at the same time, it is what it is. We was due one with them in many ways. And we are going to review that game. It's a little bit different today. Usually I do the match rating show, rating and reaction show to the Man City. But I've kind of treated it more like a talk show because I want to kind of delve in more, not the individual players, if that makes sense, going through 1 to 11. I want to talk about the overall game and where I think it might have gone wrong for us in the game as well. Before we go into that Chelsea-Man City game, we are going to talk about the Rudiger situation. There's been some news that's been coming out today in regards to Rudiger. His contract is still up in the air as well. There's a lot of news along social media, people bringing out different stories. I'm here just to review them with you, give you my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts as well, guys. So make sure you continue just writing in the chat. Let me know what you think about the situations, etc. as well. There's over 15 of you here right now, which means we should be smashing the like button. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel like I always continuously keep saying as well. We are going to start, like I said, we're going to split into two. The lines will be open as well. So I'm just going to run through things, starting with Rudiger and what's going on with him. And then we'll jump onto the Chelsea Man City game and where I think it went wrong, basically, as well. So before we do that, let's look in the chat, see how everyone is. Timo Fatorze says, first day of master's degree. Big up to you, man. I hope that all goes well for you. Big up to Big Ron, who's in the house as well. Hope you're well. Matt is in the house. Big up to him. Declared, as always about. Can't do a stream without Declared. Declared is solid. He is solid. Good evening, all. Good evening to you, Nick Blue, even though it's good afternoon where I am, mate. Good afternoon where I am. VJ Sports, big up to you, my man. I hope you're well. Sorry for you, you had to bridge. Yeah, it was slightly disappointing. Don't get me wrong, but we'll touch onto it a bit later on. It is what it is. But let's move. Like I said, continue smashing likes. Let's review some transfer news, shall we? Let's start with that. Big up to Josh as well, who's in the house. Hope you are well. All right, let's go through some transfer news. There's stuff that I found on Twitter that I'd like to go through. Obviously, the news that's coming out today is that Antonio Rudiger has decided not to renew his contract at Stamford Bridge. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid are the clubs that appeal most to the defender. Now, before I get into this, I need a sip of water. How true that is, I don't know. Obviously, it's coming from Marsa, obviously retweeted or tweeted by Footy Accumulators. Big enough social as well. I mean, listen. There will be interest in him. There was talks about PSG looking at 200 to 250,000 for him. There's now talks that Real Madrid are potentially the most favoured in regards to the Rudiger end of things, or in terms of wanting to go there. You got Bayern Munich, who have come out of nowhere, obviously assessing the situation. They did buy Upamecano last summer, and maybe they're thinking they need to find someone that they can maybe match with him, maybe switch the system up. I don't know. With Rudiger, it's one of them things where I feel like if they're bringing him in, are they going to adapt to how he wants to play? Will they switch things up? And is that why they're bringing him in and offering him the wages that they are? Now, Chelsea is still in negotiations. There's been talks of from other journalists that are closer to the Chelsea side of things that said that they've been talking to him and his representatives, and apparently it's it's going quite well. The long-term contract, which is the aim that Chelsea are trying to pin down with him, is still under negotiations. There's no real answer as to yet if it's going to happen, if it's not going to happen, etc. But every day that goes on, until we hear something, any news in regards to Rudiger, where his mind is, what he's thinking, what he wants to do, this will carry on. It will be Bayern Munich, it will be Real Madrid, it will be PSG. You probably end up seeing Juventus involved. You probably see, I don't know, maybe an English team running. Like, until we firmly hear something, we have to bear in mind that we're going to hear news like this. Whether or not it's true, you have to make the decision yourself. What I tend to do when it comes to news about our footballers and our football club is I go through each and every individual journalist that's bringing out the situation topics, and then I make my assumptions on that basis. But that's not nothing new. That ain't telling us much. That's just telling us that Bayern Munich and Real Madrid are supposedly interested. We knew that a week ago. PSG and Real Madrid were interested in PSG looking to offer him 250k, etc. So that's that one. Guys, it's nearly over 30 of you here. Continue smashing the like button, please. Smash the like button for GNA TV. We're going to move on to the next tweet that I found as well in regards to, we will be talking Chelsea and City after this as well. But it's got to be done. We've got to review this. We've got to review what the topics. According to Marcel, Antonio Rudiger has decided not to renew his contract. See how it's different now. See how it's different, because we just read one that said Marcel that that Bayern Munich and Real Madrid are interested. Now this is saying, according to Marcel, Rudiger has decided not to renew his contract. His representatives have reportedly been sounding out a number of Europe's top clubs ahead of a potential move with Bayern and Real Madrid, the most appealing to the defender. Now, is that my next one? Yeah. All right. Now, the same two teams have popped up again. The same sort of news as I brought up before. However, there's an addition to this. This is an addition to the news, which is basically saying that he isn't looking to renew his contract with Chelsea, as if to say the reason we're not getting a lot of traction on or hearing anything in regards to this is because he's open for everything, and his agents are out there waiting to see what the Madrids, the Bayerns are going to do for him. But at the end of the day, his contract expires next year. We need to hear something, I think, soonish with him. I really do. If we don't, and it drags out to next year, that tells me, and this is why I keep saying to you, you've got to make your own mind up on these things. That tells me that we could be potentially losing him. And if we lose him, it would be a massive loss, especially under this Tuchel system. For me, under this Tuchel system, he is the best defender in this position in the world at the moment, at playing that role, at doing what he does. And this is where it goes back to Chelsea. Chelsea, what are they doing? What are they doing? Where's their minds at? Why are they allowing this to drag out? Why are we having to listen to numerous topics of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSGs, all, going to his agent and issuing him higher wage rolls than what we're offering him? The determining factor with Rudiger will be this, is if we do not give him what he wants, he could go. Or he might want to go. Maybe what we give him still not enough. Maybe he does want something new. Maybe he wants to go on. I don't know. But I'm getting mixed feelings from journalists. I'm hearing this, and then I'm hearing, the long-term contract is going to be sorted with him soon. We're just discussing figures, etc., etc. So, it's all up in the air. Like I keep saying to all of you guys that are a part of the GNA TV and the community, make your own decision on what you see, what you hear. Don't take everything as gospel, especially on social media from journalists. Journalists will feed you information, give you information. Whether or not it's true, you have to make up your own mind. Until it comes from the Chelsea camp, until we hear directly from Rudiger, his agent, anyone, then all of this is a lot of talk, and part of the reason I'm going to go on to, I've got 2 more tweets on Rudiger, and I'm going to read out some of your comments as well, because it's good to obviously hear what we're hearing. So, bad news for Chelsea fans is what VJ saying. Good day to him. Big up to you. Big up to Adja as well. Even if we keep Rudy, we're going to need a left centre-back unless someone like Moriamba or Chilwell breaks through. Fair enough. Yeah, we should be on. I mean, there's over 40 people here, guys. I shouldn't have to tell you. 30 likes is the aim. Let's try and get to 30 likes. Continue smashing the like button for GNA TV as well, please. Massively appreciated. He's as good as gone, Jim. What makes you think he's good as gone, Josh? I mean, the lines will be open. We will jump onto that later. We're going to talk Rudiger. If you want to talk Rudiger, come in, have your say. Also going to be talking about the Chelsea and City game as well, briefly. We're not going to be breaking down, going through ratings and that. I'm just going to tell you what I think went wrong on the game. I was there. I was at the bridge watching the game as well, from what I saw. You can see what you want. You can say what you want about Rudiger leaving, but how is Werner on more money than Rudiger? Again, no offense, okay, Google Lehu, that really doesn't mean much to me. Comparing our own individual players to Rudiger's wages, that doesn't answer my question whatsoever. No offense, mate. I swear Chelsea fans wanted him before. Cole P, afternoon, Jim. Afternoon to you, my bro. I hope you're well. I agree he's the best centre-back right now, and he should get the lay he deserves. Even Cho is on more than Rudy, which is ridiculous. Look, we need to understand this. He will get more than what he was paid before, whether it was peanuts or what or not, whatever it is. He will get he will get more than what he was originally being paid. That's a fact. It's just how much more. How much more are Chelsea willing, our board, our football club, willing to pay Rudiger? You know, how much are we willing to put forward to him? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Marcus, yeah, Rudiger's there. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people saying Rudiger leaving. I want to know why. Why are you so dejected? Why have you given up on this? What are your reasons? What are your reasons, guys? Let me know. I trust the club to make the right decision about Rudiger. If they think his request is exorbitant and will cause panic among defenders, including Aspie and future vendors, replacing him will be rational. That's a good way of thinking of it, no. That is a good way of thinking it. But then at the same time, we've got to bear in mind this, and I say this a number of times. We do not have, next season, we got Aspie that's aging nearly 33, 34. Thiago Silva's potentially going to move on. We sell Rudiger. We've already got rid of Zuma. Who are we left with? We only have Christensen, and we only have Chalobah. Who else we got? Maybe an Aspie. We haven't got any natural centre-backs. You know, we haven't got any. So it's a little bit confusing as to what we do. Unless we're going to go out and buy it. Unless we're actually going to go out and buy. There's been names that we're going to get into as well, actually. If you're in Rudy, would you rather stay at Chelsea or go Real Madrid or Bayern? Again, it's personal preference. You know, what does he want? He needs to be honest and say, this is what I want. You know, this is what I want. You know, if he wants 200 grand or 220k, whatever it is, we don't know properly yet. And Chelsea don't think he's worth that. And he goes, then fair enough. We just have to then replace him. I want Rudiger to stay. I like Rudiger. I think he's a top defender. But Chelsea will not be held to any sort of ransom in terms of money. The football club won't do that. They just won't. I'm telling you now. We should know our football club already. If we don't, we should already know what they're like. We don't know what really is going to happen, but I still think Rudiger will sign. I still think he will sign. I know a lot of people saying no. Redneck's here. Big up to Redneck. He's saying 2.5 bad seasons versus 1. So in the way he's looking at it is just to say, well, he's had 1 good season. He's demanding all this money. But then he's had 2 bad off seasons where. So that's Declared's view. The story has all characteristics or a player who wants to go and get the massive bonuses from being a free agent, and not many good centre-backs are out there. It's true. There's a truth to that as well, because there isn't many great centre-backs. When you look at you look at football now, and who, you know, currently across Europe and world, all the football clubs, all the best defenders that are currently out there, it's nothing like it was 10 years ago. It just isn't. It's not the same. So, you know, I get there might be a demand, especially from individuals that are in very good form like Rudiger, who knows his value, who knows he's informed, coming to the end of his contract. Some people say, well, he's playing like that because he's the end of his contract. He's trying to get as much money as possible, etc., etc. I don't think that. You know, I've seen a lot of people talking on social media as well. Josh says he wants crazy money. I love Rudiger, but he's 28. Chelsea aren't going to pay him striker money. AC gets 60k rise. Rudiger is now not that much better, if at all, than AC. AC will be under. Let's get it right. Rudiger is a better defender than Christensen, but not by much. In this position, in this system, he's better. He is better. But again, it falls to preference. But I get what you're saying, Josh. I do get what you're saying. Let's move on to, because I want to fly through these. Let's move on to this, the next little tweet that I've got here. Here we go. Now, from Williams CFC News Sport, who again is reporting on behalf of Marseille. This is the reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to tell you after. Rudiger decided to leave Chelsea for Real Madrid next summer on a free transfer. So I've just shown you 3 different journalists tweeting about the same report from Marseille. And all 3 of them have kind of said the same thing, but changed it at the end. Because they're saying he wants to leave Chelsea for Real Madrid, and he wants to go on a free. But he wants to go on a free. You know, the first one was saying that Bayern Munich and Real Madrid are interested, but that's it. There was no talks about him wanting to leave. It was just that they were interested. So this is what I'm saying to you guys. You have to look at it. You have to look into this yourself. Go and read the quote from Marseille, the topic from Marseille, because people will throw at you 3-4 different ways. And that's why I always say to people, in any situation, doesn't matter. It's not if you're not a Chelsea fan, if you're a Man United fan, if you're a football fan, look at it bring context to it, look at it, deep it, and make your own decision on it as well. Rudiger is better than AC though. If we can bring it down to 190, then this is good. But this is what I'm saying. Negotiations, negotiating, understanding. You know, understanding what he wants. And if it's too much and Chelsea have made it clear, then we move. Do you know what I mean? We move. Marseille is so unreliable. Maybe. And this is what I'm saying, Chat. You know, you can't take everything for what you read it. You know, some people will take everything that comes out as gospel. They just do. They just like it. That sounds horrible to say, but sometimes people just don't choose to think for themselves. They just rather be fed, spoon-fed information. You know what I mean? Spoon-fed information and just told. Get Koundé in as well. We're going to talk about that quickly as well, because that's the last topic that I'm going to bring up on this Rudiger situation. You guys are going to get involved because I am going to put the link in the chat, but we need to get to 40 likes. There's over nearly 50 of you here right now, 17 minutes in. Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe to GNA TV as always. We're on our road to 2.8k as well. We're only, I think, 20 or 30 subscribers away. We can do that. And that brings it on to my next big tweet from Absolute Chelsea. Big up to them. Chelsea are willing to pay 102 million to sign Juventus' defender Matthias de Ligt in 2022. And this is reported via Express Sport and a reliable account, you know, biggish account, 2.9 billion ASDRAS, which is, again, another... I don't know, if you take it for what you see it, whether they're reliable, not reliable to you, you make your own decisions on that. They think Chelsea are willing to pay this. Why are Chelsea going to be willing to pay that for a defender? And this is what I'm finding. Only if Rudiger leaves. Because if Rudiger leaves on a free, which is just stupid anyway, it would be the most dumbest thing if we let him go on a free, for me. Number one, you ain't going to make any money on him. Number two, he's going to go for stupid wages, do his thing, whatever. Right, he'll be off the books. But why then would we go and spend 102 million on Matthias de Ligt? Is he even worth 102 million? Could he even fit the system that we currently play? I know he's a good young prospect. Don't get me wrong. He had some very good years at Ajax, and at Juventus, he's been okay. You know, they're struggling at the moment. They're struggling massively in Serie A. You know, Chelsea as a football club will not, and I stand by this, will not go out and spend 100 million on a defender. Not when they can go and buy Koundé for 50, 60 million at a max and just renew Rudiger's contract. Give him 190, as people keep saying. You keep Rudiger, you get him time up on a contract, you give him a certain wage, and then you go and buy Koundé for 50, 60 million. Why the fuck would you let Rudiger go? Yeah, which means we're going to need not only one defender, 2 or 3 defenders. I keep telling people this, yeah, because once he goes, yeah, you're going to need him, right? If we're interested in Matthias de Ligt, cool. You're going to need Koundé. What are we going to do? Spend 200 million on defenders? Come on, this is paper talk. I'm sorry. There's no way in hell Chelsea are spending 102 million. 102 million on Matthias de Ligt. They wouldn't even spend 50, 60 million on Koundé. Why the hell are they going to go and spend 102 million on this guy? I'm sorry. I will call it as I see it. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is how I feel about the situation. And I just don't see... I don't see how this happens. I don't see how this happens. I'm just looking at the chat as well. And yeah, it's the other thing. Raiola is his agent. The guy that just literally tried to suck every inch or ounce of money out of us over Haaland. From what I understand, he wanted Haaland to earn 50 million a year in wages, and he wanted 25 million out of it. This guy. Yeah, that guy. You know, like, no wonder they want 102 million when it's Raiola is his agent. We need to stay away from this guy. Chelsea Football Club are not going to... Let me tell you something now. I'm going to be honest. Because I don't know why it's got to be a little bit. We let Rudiger go. Right? Let's say we do. Because we don't want to give him 180, 190, whatever. And then we go and buy this guy for 102 million. And then we go and buy a Koundé for 50, 60 million. We've nearly just spent 200 million on defenders. Where is the logic in that? There is no fucking logic. And I'm not saying that we are doing that. I'm just going based on what they're saying. And this is why I'm saying to you, it is paper talk. This right here is paper talk. This is not true. No way in hell is that. I'd like to think, and I hope to think, that my football club are not that dumb. I'm being honest. Like, it doesn't make no sense to me. I gotta be honest. Hearing transfer talks in September is ridiculous. I agree. To me, the Ligt story is complete bullshit. We would need to pay. We would never pay that much. We didn't even want to pay Koundé 8. And this is what I'm saying, Josh. Doesn't make no sense. It's because he's young, but I don't think he's worth it. But you'll never know in a couple of years. But he's not worth it. Koundé's young. Koundé's 22. That makes no sense. It just makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. None of this makes... We're here for the job. Clean the mess behind Chelsea City in the mud. Leaving Kante leave as well. Letting Kante leave as well. I don't know if we are. Again, we'll have to see and we'll see what happens. Guys, there's over nearly 60 of you here. Smash the like button. Subscribe to GNA TV. I will be releasing the link in the chat very soon. You guys to get involved. Have your say. I want your thoughts and opinions on this Rudiger topic. What your thoughts are, how it's going at the moment. This talk about Ligt. You know, we need to bring some logic. I keep saying we have to bring logic to what we read on social media. You know, I brought you out 3 different tweets about the from Marsa, from one source, and they both said something a little bit different. That's why I say to you, don't take everything gospel. Read into things, make your own mind up. This here doesn't make no sense. It doesn't. For what sense does it make for us to get rid of Rudiger, go and spend 102 million on Ligt, and maybe need to get another defender in Koundé and spend 60 million? Chelsea are not spending nearly 200 million on defenders. They're not doing that. I am telling you now, it's not happening. That is not happening. He's on like 270k a week, someone's saying as well. Exactly, it makes no sense. We are out there, can directly replace Rudiger. Well, who out there can directly replace Rudiger? Because Rudiger is pacey and Koundé. Koundé can play, but why get rid of Rudiger? Why can't we keep Rudiger and bring in Koundé? You know, just why? We don't need any more defenders walking out our door. You know, we've got Christensen agreed. Why are we going to let any more go? Brian saying, Jim, what if PSG offer Rudiger 250 to 300 million? No way Chelsea go there. Chelsea have precedents on how they deal with players' wage demands. They let them to walk. I agree. If that happens, and he then goes because of the money, for me, it's the money. If he goes because of the money and the contract's being offered, cool. Then we have to. Then we're in a position where we have to go and buy defenders, not defenders, because we're only, like I keep saying, have Christensen. Thiago Silva might not be in next year. Who knows what Aspie will do? Like this is what I'm saying. It doesn't make no sense. We've got to get him to agree something with us. Keep him. Get Koundé. Keep him. Get Koundé. Chelsea have a short list of players: Bastoni, Skriniar, Schüller, Koundé, De Ligt. I want it. Out of them, who do you want? I don't want Schüller. Skriniar's okay. Koundé, yeah. And I'm not spending 102 million on De Ligt. It's not happening. 2+2 will have Gem. I heard same thing. We're cashing in on Kante next season. Again, too early. Paper talk. We were in September. Transfer window finished a month ago. Ignore it. Read it. Take what you want from it. I promise you now, I'll mark my words from now, you will hear something different next year going into January. This whole topics that are going now will completely be flipped on its arse and something else. They'll be talking about something else. That's just the way it is. Rudy wants out playing for Bayern and Real move. If somebody he might go, cool. If he wants out, it's a different story, isn't it? If he wants to leave the football club and move on and go to a Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, then that's cool. That's cool. He needs to make his decision. And until I hear from his agent, from his board, from Chelsea Football Club about this situation, then all of this stuff that I'm reading now doesn't mean much to me. Yeah, all right, he might have got offers here and now. I agree. He might get offers from Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, whoever. Koundé is more right-sided though, Jim. He's not. He's versatile enough to play across the back. I've said this many a times. Trust me, go and watch him. He's good enough to do the job. Fortunately, Rudiger is looking for his last big deal. Fair enough. You know, and he's in the best form that he's been at Chelsea since he arrived. This is his best form right now since he's been at Chelsea. You know, the last year or so. It's not coming out of my wallet, but I know my football club, Andrew. That's not the point. I know my football club. I know what they will and won't do, you know. You're always going to lose a game against the top six. We're going to talk about this next as well. We're not even at 30 likes. There's 70 people here. We should be on 40 likes, guys. Smash the like button. Subscribe to GNA TV as well. Let's try and get that done as well. We are, like I said, I will be opening up the lines for you guys to get involved very shortly as well. But as I didn't get to review the City game with you guys, we're not doing ratings. I'm not going to sit here and do ratings with you until we say, I was at the bridge. I was watching the game. I was in the West View. I had a decent view of the game. I'm just going to be honest with you in terms of how it went and where it went wrong. And then I'm just going to open the lines. And then if you want to talk City, Chelsea, City, we can talk that. You want to talk Rudiger? We talk Rudiger. We talk what you want to talk. I give you the opportunity to come in and have your say, as always, as well. 102 million plus 14.5. Up to 21 year, yeah, added on through, so he's not going to work with our pay structure. Exactly. Big up to Will as well. Big up to you, my guy. I hope you are well. Now, Koundé is a right centre back, and if we do get De Ligt, it would be for left centre back. We also were willing to pay. No, I'm still not. I don't see us spending 102 million on De Ligt. We didn't want to spend 60 million on Koundé. Why the hell are we going to spend 102 million? Come on, guys. Come on. You're better than this. You're better than this. That's what I'm trying to just get into your, let's say get into your heads, but just give you another way of thinking, another way of understanding where I'm going with it. What I think is we're going to revamp our defence in the summer. And yes, we did 2 windows ago under Frank. Big ups to the channel. Everyone smash the lights. Come on, you Blues. Big up to Leslie as well. Thank you very much for being here. My chat was talking about Skriniar today as a backup. Thoughts? Providing we can get him for it. He's not a bad defender. Will he fit the system? That would be my question. Probably, because they play 3 at the back, don't they? But they have played 3 at the back. So maybe. How old is he? Does anyone know? Let me know in the chat how old he is. But let's move on to the City game, because we're going to sit here. We can talk. We'll go back to Rudiger in a minute. When I open up the lines, we can switch back to Rudiger. I'll bring you the win. We can talk about it, etc. But I was at the City game. We went for a 3-5-2. We went with Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho in the middle as well. And, I think it was the wrong decision. I said it before we even went live. I said it on Blue Lounge with a Couch and that who's in the chat. I said, I think we should stick to a 3-4-3. Play him to what we know. We've beaten 3 times in a 3-4-3. We go and switch to a 3-5-2 because Mason Mount wasn't playing is what everyone seems to think is the reason, which is not. We done that because it worked against Spurs and we were successful with it. And it is a successful formation. It is a successful formation. Trust me, it can work. But it can't work in the way that we played against City. And there was a couple of things that we done wrong in that game. Couple of things. City set up well. Hats off to them. They pressured us. They didn't give us time on the ball. They were, but we knew they were going to do that. We know how City play. High line, up the pitch, try and pressurize us. The biggest letdown of that formation and system and why it didn't work was our midfield. All 3 of them. Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic. They were so poor. They were so poor. They will get the ball in midfield, right? And instead of progressing and looking forward, when you've got runners and Timo Werner and Lukaku who can hold the ball up, they were going backwards and putting more pressure on our defence, which will then hoofing the ball up the pitch. When we broke the line, once it reached the midfield and they turned around, they should have then gone and played. You know, I was sitting at the end that Chelsea was shooting pretty much, so I could see it. We didn't have one shot. You know, Timo Werner was making great runs. Lukaku was so static, no movement, winning ball at feet all the time when he should have been turning. You know, I thought Timo Werner was pretty decent. Thought he had quite a decent game. You know, out of a bad bunch. We then went into the second half, same crap. You know, Alonso was average. Reece James got injured. Aspie got put right wing back. Christensen moved across. You know, they weren't the problem. Mendy made some great saves again. And then they scored a shit goal. Let's be serious. Shit deflected. It bobbled in the bottom corner of the goal. Let's be serious. But we then switched it. We went and played what we knew. 3-4-3. And straight away, the balance. We looked comfortable. We looked more attacking. We looked more progressive. We scored. It was offside. Fair enough. Then Ruben came on. Ruben gave us drive. You know, driving at the defence, opening him up, playing balls quickly. We looked better. And I do think maybe another 5-10 minutes of the game, we might have maybe had to nick one because we had them. We had them there. All right, they were trying to catch us on the break with Grealish and Jesus and whatever. And that's because we were committing. But we looked better. We were flowing. The only thing I would say about that game is, from Tuchel's perspective, is he has to learn when to play that system. And what let him down wasn't him playing that system. It was the individuals that were playing within that system. It was the individuals. Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho. Jorginho piss poor with his passing. Kante same. Kovacic was non-effective. Sometimes jogging, guys. Wasn't even covering nothing. He wasn't the Kovacic I saw 2 games ago, progressively driving with the ball, opening them up. Do you know what I mean? It was poor. It wasn't good enough. And we were going to lose a game eventually. Was I annoyed? Yeah, I'd gone to Stamford Bridge and we end up losing. Fair enough, it happens. But we was due to lose a game against City. And they, based on the average of the game and how it went, they deserved it. They were the better team from start to finish. Do you know what I mean? And it is what it is. We move. We've got Southampton. We've got Juventus on Wednesday. We will be doing the preview for the Juventus game either tomorrow or Wednesday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon. We kick off Wednesday 7:45, but our next Premier League game is against Southampton. So that'll be again something we'll be looking to do as well. What are people saying in the chat? Talking about other things, are we? Alonso was never suited to play in his own half without the ball. Bad selection. Asking Alonso to do that was never practical. I agree. I'd say Cover was the best out of the 3. That's not much. I don't think it. Yeah, Cover got better. I'll tell you when Cover was better. Cover was better once we switched the system. Once he went into the 2, it worked. I wouldn't say it was a lack of understanding the 3-5-2, but there was no flow. Defensively, we were strong. Yes, they had a lot of the ball and they were moving it around. They didn't really do much. It wasn't hurting us. We were dealing with it. That was not the problem. It was going the other way. And every time we got into position to go forward, we wasn't playing to their strengths. Now, there was numbers of times where Werner was making good runs. And to be honest, in the first half, he was probably the only guy that was, being offensively strong going forward, trying to make runs, open them up and that. And we know he will do that. We know that's his game, But it is what it is. Tuchel got it all wrong and City pressed us high, made it us underperform. It wasn't our day after all. Let's regroup and stick to 3-4-3. I agree. That's probably the best way to explain it, Andre. We stick together. We move forward. It is what it is. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to see if I'm signed in. Am I even signed in here? No. I'll have to do that later. I ain't got time to do that. I've just got a new phone. I bought a new phone. Got a new iPhone. It's actually all right. Not too bad. It's not too bad, the iPhone 13 Pro. But I'm going to open up the lines. I don't know how many likes we've got. Can someone let me know in the chat how many likes we've got? We've got over 80 people here, pushing to 100 people in the chat soon as well. Continue to smash the like button, please. Let's try and get to 50 likes. I'll open up the lines now. I want your thoughts and opinions. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and do ratings. We're not here to do ratings. We're here to I gave you a quick review. You want to talk about the game? Come in. We can talk about it. A telling moment was when Mendy was lining up a goal kick and pushing players forward. Crowd started cheering that instead of watching Chelsea keep trying to play out and turn it. Yeah, I agree. 44 likes. We're 6 away from 50. Let's get there. Let's do it. Big up to my guy in the chat, Chelsea Fan TV. I think that might be Sammy. Big up to him as well. He allows me on. After the game, I've done a little match reaction on his channel. You can go and catch that on there, Chelsea Fan TV. If you want to go and check it out, make sure you do so, guys. The link is in the chat. I want you to come in, have your say. Like I said to you, we're going to talk about 2 topics. The Rudiger situation. You want to talk about the Man City, you want to talk about Chelsea, Man City, then, you're more than happy to do so as well. We've got loads of people coming in the back as well. We have got Winter Surfer. What's happening, my boy? You all right?
Yeah, all right, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. You sound like a robot.
I'll come back.
That's all right. Josh, what are you saying?
What's up, Jim? How you doing, brother?
Not bad. Couch. What else have we got here? We've got Declared. We got Matt. We got Hassan.
The whole gang is here.
The whole gang.
What are we saying, crew? How are we doing?
Doing good.
Yeah,
a lot better.
Yeah, trust me. I was meant to have done a review on Sunday, but I never got the chance. And obviously, we had the Chelsea women's show, football as well, which went quite well. So, yeah, guys, I've kind of, rather than done sort of a match reaction show, it's more of an open show. We can review the Chelsea City game if you want. We can talk about it, where it went wrong or where you thought it went wrong anyway. Or we can also talk about Rudiger and the situation there with him and the talks about Ligt and others coming to Chelsea. So I leave it open to you guys. What is it you want to talk about? Tell me.
It's a lot to talk about. I mean, we can start with that Rudiger situation. I mean, Josh just told me in the comments there, and Josh was saying that FIFA card. What's his name again?
Max LaCroix.
LaCroix. He does play a role like Rudiger. I'm not gonna lie, he does kind of play that similar role. But we've also got a lot of Serie A players as well that we're linked with, not linked with, but that are interesting potential targets we could get. So there's a lot of options. But other than Kunde, guys, who else are we saying? Because you said that one, Josh. But who else is there really that fits that Rudiger standard?
Honestly, I would look at Inter Milan, but I would not look at Skriniar or De Vrij or however you pronounce it. I would look at Bastoni, who has played left centre back for them.
Yeah, I ordered that at the deli, that Bastoni.
I was gonna say about the whole defensive issue, right? What about Sule?
No,
that man just has body. Put him on the ball. This man can't do shit.
No, but he's gonna be for free.
Right, it's ridiculous talking about it now, man. Chalobah could have a great season, and we want to probably make him one of the starters. We don't know what's going to happen at the end.
If Rudiger goes, guys, we are not only going to need one defender. I've said it a number of times. We are going to need multiple defenders, not just one.
Why?
I don't see Chelsea spending 102 million.
Why is Rudiger worth 2 players or something?
Well, no, but what I'm trying to say to you is, you lose Rudiger, you've only got Christensen. Who else is there? So Thiago Silva goes. That's it. Thiago Silva goes. Then what?
No, but Thiago and Aspi have only got a few years left. Maximum.
We also got the big boy in the reserve.
Look, what I'm trying to get is, why don't we renew the Rudiger contract, try and get an agreement with him, and go and get a Kunde? Why the hell do we think
Because he already made up his mind. I think he made up his mind a long time ago, guys. We gotta let it go.
Yeah.
So if we really let it go now, it's time to go for that second, because Chalobah is kind of here to replace Zuma, though. Chalobah, we still don't have that replacement for Zuma. We still don't have that replacement. That's why we need that second after Kunde.
Well, it sounds like Kunde is still what they're going to get done, even in January potentially. But I don't think there's. I think they'll still get Kunde regardless.
There's more important news than Rudiger. There's one news that needs to be solved and needs to be solved now. Jem, you need to stop to go to the fucking City games versus. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're fucking away from Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, that's true.
If I find out you again went to Stamford Bridge against City, we'll find you.
And you also wore that horrible away kit.
Yeah.
That away kit.
That's a beautiful kit.
Mate. Talking about
that's a beautiful kit, Angie. What do you want?
That's not, man. That's what someone you wear at paintball.
Nah.
You wear that at paintball.
It's better than our own kit, man. I don't even like our own kits.
Tell you the truth, there's no.
But do you guys not think we need more defenders if Rudiger goes? Because I think
yes, I do agree with you, Jim. I agree. We need experience. We need established defenders as well. Because Alex said like someone in the reserve. Then you're looking at Christensen, Chalobah, and I think he's talking about, is it Mayumba or something like that? Yeah. He's not had any experience yet. We need more. That's why we need to re-sign Rudiger. I know it's probably not, but we need to. If we're not, we need to sign not only Kunde but another defender as well. We're never going to spend 100 million on
Or is it winter service?
Yes. Sorry, Andrew, I was waiting for you to get your point out. So we can. Hey, do you have a charger in? That's what it sounds like. Sometimes
why
people got their chargers in.
Or talk with your mic plugged out. Just plug it out and talk.
Yeah. How about now?
That's better.
Yeah, better.
That's better.
No. We're back straight.
Yeah, but we're not going to spend 100 million on Ligt. That's just not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that benefit? Like, let's look at this objectively.
Raiola.
A story like exactly. That's exactly what's going on right now. He's linking Chelsea to Ligt at £102 million because he knows that'll get the other vultures circling.
And you do know that all the 100 million, that 40 is going to Raiola. You know that.
Of course.
Yeah,
no, Raiola does differently. The fees are the fees. The transfer fees he sets up separately. If he has like 102 million, whatever we want to pay, that's not includes Raiola's fee. Raiola's fee will be negotiated on the side.
How true is
That's
this?
why we dropped off.
That's the biggest bullshit. Come on.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any. I
Bro,
just don't think there's any need to even speak about it. It's so far outside of what we would consider doing. I mean,
guys, they'll put him on 300k a week.
You can literally see the look at where it's from.
Who is this? The Express Sports.
It's probably Daily Express, but
I don't think there's any truth in us willing to pay that price, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were interested in him.
We are arguing with Kunde's fee for 5 million or for 10, and
exactly. Yeah,
I think that was out of principle, though. That was out of principle. Like they had a deal in place, they try to like. I get that. I'm not too mad at that.
Still, this will make the league the most expensive defender.
And he was shit at Juventus. Why would his price will be even more than what it is?
Yeah, exactly. And his price right now is 220 or 200k a week exactly. So we'll be paying him 300 to 50k a week.
Doesn't sign a contract. What we don't have enough no avenues for the game. Like let's put since Rudiger leaves, we need to put something in newspaper. Who's available?
Yeah.
I'm not panicking at all. I think first of all, Tuchel, I don't think. First of all, if Chelsea wanted Rudiger so bad to stay, Tuchel will put his 50 cents in it. Tuchel will say, "I need this player, pay him money." But I don't think Tuchel is actually in for him as much as because he's not versatile. People forget that Tuchel is really likes versatile players. And Rudiger he's great in the position in 3 at the back, but that's not his preferred system. He likes to put 4 at the back, and Rudiger shit in the 4 at the back.
I think it's more him, man.
Yep.
Well, not shit, but I mean, he's. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's more
a great season with David Luiz as his
partner. Yeah, under Sarri, he was really good in the 4-3-3.
Yeah, so it's not. I don't think he's.
Let me get this out.
It's just we haven't played for it at the back.
Andrew, do you remember when he was injured under Lampard's first season? Everyone was calling for him to come back. We were gassing him up. Really? Yeah. He was great under Sarri.
I watched him extensively that year, and as much as he was the guy that looked the most domineering and bossy, he wasn't a boss. He was
but he came back from the injury. It was a long-term injury. It makes sense.
You put him next to somebody like a bossy, complete center back, then he looks great. But I don't like him in it too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like him in it too.
Yeah, but he was good with David Luiz as his centre back partner.
I thought David Luiz. I don't know. I wasn't too keen on him, to be honest.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good it was. He wants to move. This has, I mentioned in chat, this has all the characteristics, right, of someone that wants more money. And I'll give you an example of someone that probably didn't do it. Every time a player wants to leave but is okay to stay, his agent will ask for an insane wage amount, right? And if the club gives it, he's happy. If he leaves, he's happy. He doesn't care, right? And another person that did that was Sanchez and Ozil at Arsenal, right? That's how Ozil got that type of money. The club wanted him more than he wanted to stay, and that's where Rudiger is at. Because if Rudiger leaves, he's going to get a massive pay package as a free agent, right? It's a win-win. If Chelsea give him 200 or 300k, I don't know. You know what? I honestly don't believe it's 200. I reckon Chelsea have offered everyone reasonable contracts before, and they've done it quick, right? They don't let it go this much. I reckon he asked for 250 plus. I don't even think it's 200. I think it's a crazy amount that he's asked for, and he's left it at that. And if the club give it, he's over the moon, and it's an insane amount. We would question why he's getting that pay, right? It's because we're so desperate. Or if he leaves, he's going to get so much money, and that's why I think he's not staying, because Chelsea don't think he's worth that much. We're not that desperate.
I think Rudiger's kind of upset with the board because when the contract's supposed to be renegotiated, it's when Lampard was in charge, and Lampard did not want him. So I think what happens is like Rudiger literally said, you know what, didn't support me with Lampard, so that's what happens. He's gone.
Agree, because even the very first thing that he said after winning the Champions League finals, when he turned to the camera and said, "Do you want me here now? Do you want me here now? Who wants me to leave now?" So you can tell that there's some animosity about what has been going on. Without doubt, I agree with you, Redneck. But I don't think that the club are in a position right now to let him go, because if they bring somebody else in, it's not. First of all, you have to find somebody that fits that system, and then you also have to find the wages. Like you're still going to pay that anyways for the next center back to come in.
It's easier to fit defenders in this system than in other systems. Defenders fit in easy. I'd rather spend more money on the front half than the back half. It's almost such a. You have so many defenders, so many players there. I reckon it makes defenders look better than they are.
I don't think we do. I don't think if Rudiger goes, Jim's right. Aspilicueta has got maybe 2 years there. Thiago Silva, we're already seeing we're taking him in and out of the team. He's 37. Who have we got? We got Christensen and Chalobah. That's it.
Not good enough.
We need to keep Rudiger.
But let's say we threw Koundé in there, Andrew. Do you think we'll be all right?
No.
Well, I don't know, but that's the thing. At the moment, the only thing we can possibly do is to try and sign Rudiger back. We don't know what the Koundé situation is going to hold for us either in January or the summer.
What if Real Madrid went in for Koundé as well? That's the thing.
Well, exactly. They were linked him for. That's what I mean. That's why we should. That's why we. I don't know. I keep going back why we took so long to sign Koundé and leave it to.
How much, Andrew? How much would you pay Rudiger then? How much you think Rudiger is worth?
What makes me laugh is people that think we're going to spend 100 million on
200.
It's not happening.
He's worth
200. I'm not doing that.
Okay, if he's not 200, you okay for him to go, right?
If it's listen, I'm fine with 200. I think that's a fair. I think that's a very good pay rise, even more than
200k a week.
And if he rejects that,
what's your limit, Andrew? Is what Redneck's asking.
The club can do no more.
I said, what's your limit?
No more. If they offer 200k, they're for 200k, and he says no. I respect the club for then not going.
And I can tell you that he's not staying for 200.
That's fine, but we need to sign two very good
Chelsea, can I just say something? Chelsea are not going to be held to any ransom. You know our football club. They're not just going to say, right, he will. They're not going to pay him. They will offer.
When?
Chelsea offer what they think a player is worth, okay? They won't go any higher.
Is he worth 60 grand more than Rudiger a week? That's what I want to ask you guys. Christensen. Yeah. Christensen.
Right now?
No,
I think he is, yes.
In and around
there. No. All I'm going to say, right, Christensen has what? 38 clean sheets in that 46 game in the same, you could say in a similar run compared to.
You don't get a clean sheet by yourself.
No, but I'm saying that Christensen's. Oh no, 120. You think he's worth more than 180? I don't think.
I'm just thinking.
How old is Christensen though? 25, yeah.
25, yeah.
See, Christensen's going to have one more contract similar to Rudiger position.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so it's going to go up.
That's why he's making less. That's exactly what he's making.
Yeah, exactly. And also Rudiger was making less than Rudiger before
but it's also like our most recent comp that we have. Like, so they're both guys with their deals that like you're not just going to say, okay, we're going to pay Rudiger more because this is his last chance to make money, so we're going to give him more money. Like, I mean, I think they look at the center backs at the same way and say, hey, well, both these guys their contracts are up. They're both week in, week out starters. He got a $60K pay raise. Like, you can't just say, okay, well, we'll give Rudiger more because this is his last chance to make money.
Exactly.
He's right now, he's probably our most important defender. Right now, he's probably our most important defender. That's how I see it.
If you ask me, if you ask me what I think we should do, if you ask me what I think we should do moving forward, I think we should somehow come to an agreement with Rudiger because I don't think losing him is a good thing to do. Right? Keep him and then go and buy Jules Koundé. That's what I would.
Yeah,
that would be no De Ligt and no. If Rudiger left and then we have to go and get De Ligt and Koundé, you're going to spend nearly 200 million on defenders. Is that what we want? Like,
don't worry about De Ligt. I think that's
De Ligt's not coming.
I'm just giving you an example.
I know, but what if the same example that you just gave, but it wasn't De Ligt? It was another.
We're still going to spend over 100 million on defenders. Then, if we're called to do that, then fine. If that's what you want us to do.
I mean, any two players is almost 100 mil in this type of market. Any two players. If we were going to buy a wing back, if we were going to buy someone up front, any two players for the average price is now hitting 100 mil.
Unless you get somebody on a free.
Plus, now we have to spend whatever more. If we lose Rudiger, we have to spend another defender. Which we probably want.
Remember, there's other positions too. We need a DM. We need
That's what I mean.
Some
So
other
it's like
position.
now we have to
why
do
do we sell him?
Because we're losing Rudiger.
Is anybody crackling when somebody's...
Andrew, your mic's not real bad.
Yeah, I think it was Andrew.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hello?
Yeah, your mic's... Yeah, I don't know
Just
what
rejoin it might fix it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Bullshit.
Dan, what are you saying, man? This is Dan talk. You ain't spoke yet. Dan, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, the Ligt thing is not happening, so I didn't even want to talk about it. But Rudiger, I mean, if he wants to go, if they're offering him 300, 400K, there's nothing we can do at that point. And he just wants to go, and that's okay. He wants to go on a free. Real Madrid want him, Bayern, all these teams want him on a free. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, he's just gonna get a lot more money. And at that point, we have to figure it out. Who do we get? I am more so interested in an experienced center back. I don't like these young guys. These when it comes to center backs, like buying in De Ligt for 100 million or even Koundé for 60 million. These guys they're not ready to be at the top yet. Go get an experienced guy. 28 to 30, or keep him. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm going for. Either get those experienced guys or keep him. You know what I mean? But if we can't keep him, then Skriniar, you have options out there.
You say that though, but this is the thing that I think is a bit of a problem at the moment with football as an overall. I don't think that when you think of defenders, class defenders, how many of them are there out there at the moment that we can go and buy? Because I don't think there is many. I don't think it's not like 10 years ago when you had fucking Ramos's and whoever, John Terry's, Ferdinand's, Vidic.
No, but I think it's talking more like 26. It's talking more like 27, 28-year-olds, not these old
players. There's no shortage on the market, people.
But they're young.
There's not a.
No, I'm talking about the experience.
Yeah, Colabilly from Napoli.
You have someone like Skriniar who has 2 years left on his contract. Right, so after this year, next year he's gonna have 1 year left on his contract. I want the experience guys, even over 30. I want to keep Rudiger. Koulibaly is also an option, but their president is kind of difficult to deal with. So
Napoli is almost impossible to deal with, man.
Well, somehow we managed to get the best player and the coach.
Koulibaly's old, man. He's done.
He's 30. Yeah, he's past.
We also want Koulibaly, and he wasn't letting go of that 80 million. He said that
they wouldn't even sell us Hisage for 50 when we had Sarri, and he left on a free.
Who wanted Hisage, man? Not me.
Sarri wanted him.
I don't know.
And Rugani. Sarri wanted some dead players.
Or we can go for what's his name? What's that? Burnley's defender. What's his?
Malowski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? That's a fifth. We could if we get.
Isn't that who Lampard wanted?
You see what? Look at the names that you're naming. Look at the names that you're naming.
Wasn't a dunk?
Look at the names we're naming.
It was both.
Another one. Dead.
I was saying dunk, man. It's hilarious.
It's like the striker market.
Hey,
Just
to be honest, if we lost Rudiger to a long-term injury, I wouldn't be so worried at the moment. I
What?
think
Who plays on the left?
There'll be Sar's our left centre back there.
I think the
Christensen.
defenders we have now can do a job. Even Chalobah showed that he can do something, and I reckon he's got a lot more in him as well. I think I wouldn't call it season over, and that's the type of reaction we're getting at the moment. Almost like we weren't.
Christensen.
Yeah, but again, we lack depth there, then, didn't we? Because we got rid of Zuma, because we was meant to bring in Kunde and we didn't bother doing so. Yeah. And then you're going to, you lose Rudiger. You've only got Silva, who you're then asking to play even more.
Then you got Trevor. Then you got Aspi. Then you got
Aspi now. James injured for 6 weeks. He's injured for 6 weeks.
Centre back. Is that what we want? Aspi is centre back now.
Yeah, he was playing centre back.
Yeah.
No,
he's been okay there.
I'm not having that.
What happened to Alderweireld? He used to be a right back, and now he was even better centre back. He can. Some players can.
But no, I don't think every game
was a left back originally. He moved to a right, then he went to a back three under Conte. But
Aspi was playing centre back before he pushed him into the right wing back.
Yeah.
I mean, people, come on. Are you watching Chelsea?
Yeah, well, exactly. We watch him now. I don't think he can play that role every single week. I think he plays solid. I feel like he plays solid as a right wing back. But again, that's a good option as a right centre back. But still, we still need someone there who is. I
Matt,
why
couldn't he do it every week?
Well, break your piggy bank, Matt, and go to Europe and start shopping.
Okay, yeah, I'll just give 60-70 mil to Marquinhos or something. I'll pay for myself.
I don't mind spending 100 million on Marquinhos.
Yeah, because Marquinhos is a big game player.
I've been saying Marquinhos 2019, but get him here. He needs to come.
Yeah, except for the fact that he turned us down.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Tuchel can convince him.
Everyone keeps saying, bring on Bastoni. Bring in Bastoni.
He's 6'5", bro.
Van Dijk, get Van Dijk. New challenge.
Van Dijk, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. The only thing I would say is I hate transfer talk in September, like in October. It don't make no sense.
Totally.
Fucking nothing's gonna happen right now. I would like some clarity from Chelsea, Rudiger, or his agent to say like this is what's going on because he's coming up, it's the end of his contract. But everything else that comes with it, I'm just not entertaining it at the moment. I really ain't. I'm just not interested. But we'll have to see what happens in it with him. But I mean, I haven't spoke to you guys about your thoughts on the City game and the Chelsea game. I mean, what?
I blame you.
What was your overall thoughts on that? What went wrong? What actually went wrong for you guys? Is it the formation? Was it the individuals? Because like you've heard me say, I think it was the individuals. To be honest, especially our midfield, I thought they were piss poor. It was
a bit of both, Jim, man. You remember me saying I wasn't a fan of the Werner. Just because I saw a massive isolation between them and the midfield, and they can't create much, right? It's a very like a lower team setup where you're just going to rely on long balls and you're sitting deep, and we didn't even do that. And Kovacic, Alonso, everyone, they pressed us so much that even when we got the ball, we didn't know what to do with it. And the rare chance that like Lukaku or Werner got the ball, they didn't know what to do with it too. So
yeah, I
it was like individual.
What's your name? Can see because the screen has changed. The guy that does speak.
Declared.
Yeah, declared.
Yep.
So let me ask you. So you think that Chelsea set up this system to play long ball on Saturday?
No.
No, I'm asking him because the way he's talking, it's how we approach the game to play 5 in the middle. So 3 in the middle, so we can play the long ball. Is that what you're saying? That's what I understand from you. What you're saying?
No. I was saying the setup is almost like when you have two when the two up front were so far from the midfield, right? We weren't meant to play long balls. Tuchel didn't want him to play long ball. I'm saying the setup is similar to long balls, how lower teams are set up. That's what I compared it to. And so that gap, right, was there, and we weren't playing long balls, right? But that's almost how Werner and Lukaku were waiting for it. And then when the time came to get into Lukaku's feet from Kovacic, Kante got a lot of chances. They were poor, right? So we weren't going to play long balls. And in that gap, even Silva played a little pivot role with Rodri. He was so far back, I was surprised. And they just cleaned up everything. We didn't have the ball that long anytime. until we
Yeah,
made the
but
change.
Is that the system or is that City's press though? Because like I thought that City's press was just exceptional. You know, like for me, it looked like they pressed with 4 up top with the 4 strikers.
Hey guys, what happened to? Did you guys? What happened to our?
What?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Dan.
Sorry. What happened to our counter pressing?
That's exactly what I was gonna.
We've played them, and again, this is why I hear in the individuals and all this. This is on Tuchel, 100%. We've played these guys. We've played this guy
as much as Tuchel is the plan collapsed when Conte.
Let me land. We've played this team 3 times in a row with the same system, and we've beaten them 3 times in a row. We've never given up possession. We've always challenged them for possession. The last time we played them, not this one, the Champions League final, we had more of the ball than they did. You can check the stats.
Can I add to that?
So when you go into the game and you play a half fit Conte, because he came out the game and he said Conte wasn't really fit, or he was sick. He said Jorginho was carrying an injury. You don't play any attacking mids, and you throw them in there against a City team. Your 2 most important midfielders are compromised. And you don't trust anybody else to play any of them. You don't trust Havertz. He said he didn't play Havertz or Ziyech because they're kind of out of form, which doesn't make sense to me because Mount is out of form, and if he was fit, he would have fucking played him. Yeah. So why don't you play these guys? I don't blame anybody else but him. He's the reason why the team had a bad game.
I think he overthought it, Dan. I think he overthought it.
Yeah,
he done what Pep did when we
did exactly. He did what Pep did. He overthought it. Like I was saying about our counter pressing, what we did, just thinking about the last three games, we pressed them just as much as they pressed us. When they press us and win the ball back, we counter press immediately, and we hunt the ball back.
When do you counter press though? You counter press when you're in the offensive end.
Yeah, but did you notice we look better when we switched to a 3-4-3? Did you notice we looked better when we switched to a 3-4-3? When we went
but we were also more exposed though. Like guys,
but we were not.
Start the best opportunities they had the whole game was when we went to 3-4-3. They should have scored at least 2.
No.
They should have scored at least 2.
The reason we looked vulnerable was because we was losing the game and we was committing too much forward. And that
midfield, like you don't think that Tuchel played 3 in the middle because he knew that like that was where the game was supposed to be won and lost. And if we would have played 2 in there, we would have.
No, I know why. I know why he did that, but my point is this: when you're going into a City game against their world-class players, why are you playing your 2 most important players who are compromised? You knew Conte was sick, and you knew Jorginho was carrying a knock, and you play both of them together in that midfield. How the hell are they supposed to? How the hell are they supposed to do anything?
I was.
Who would you have played in the middle? Who would you play in the middle, Dan?
I would have played Havertz.
In the middle?
I would have played
Havertz. I would have played Havertz, and I would have played 3-4-3 like we usually do. I would have gone head to head against them. Yeah, listen,
you don't. Who would have been your 2 in the middle?
Kovacic and Jorginho. You can have one. You can have one compromised player, not have 2. Like that's what I'm saying. You had,
why do we do that?
You can't play both of them that are compromised.
Yeah. I was at the game and I could see literally watching it on TV and being at the game is 2 different fucking things. I'm telling you, like you see everything, right? I was sitting there and Jorginho and Kante, they just didn't look right.
They didn't look good.
They looked so off par. Every time Jorginho got the ball, he looked sluggish, slow. He tried to make a pass, he was making the wrong pass. Kovacic was just ineffective off on the left.
Yep.
Kante, every time he got the ball, it was just bouncing off him. He couldn't really, and the annoying thing with the 3 of them is that every time we managed to maybe break the press in the first half and it got to them, instead of going forward, they wanted to go backwards again. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's to break the pressure.
You're putting more pressure on the defense. And we just kept doing that. There was no offensive pressure. Werner was making some decent. I was watching Werner. He was making some really good runs off the defense.
Yeah, but he's isolated.
They had no one. They had no one to link with, Jem. So it's like I agree with Dan. Like you needed Havertz in a cam role in this game because there was no link between the midfield 3 and the 2 up top. So the 2 up top were basically on an island all day, just waiting for somebody to play some sort of miracle ball to them.
Yeah,
it just didn't work.
I think
you guys got to remember when we played them, it was a false 9, right? And we had so many players that came back, and now we had Lukaku just sitting up there and no one coming back.
Exactly.
And Alonso too prying. He just defended. That's it. He didn't do nothing.
I don't think what we learned. I don't think that we figured out how to play with like an out and out striker with the 5-3-2 to break the press. I don't think that we've worked that out yet. How to break the press.
Couch. I don't mind.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
with
We could have
Lukaku up
broken
top.
the press. We could have broken the press, right? Kicking the ball long to Lukaku. But when you have
Yeah, but
two
who's
men up there,
supporting him?
but here's my thing. If you
Nah,
had
he was
three
too
men,
static as well. Trust
here's
me.
what I'm saying. If you had three men
Yeah.
up there, they would have pulled players away from
Yeah.
him, both of them. When you have Mount and Havertz, and this is why we always get at them for fucking
Joe.
up when they get to the final third, but they always get to the final third. They always get to create space and have chances to create goals. None of that happened today because it was too crowded. If you lump the ball
Yeah.
to Lukaku, he always had three men on him, right?
Yeah.
For you know what I mean? Like Rudiger would drop back in, and then you have the two center backs on him, and they let
There was
Werner
one-
free.
Can I just say something?
Well-
There was one moment, right, and it summed up the game, right? It was in the second half. We broke the press, right, and I think it was Kante. So yeah, we got the ball, all right, and we played Werner made a lovely run, right, and he played him through, and he's got to the he's got the ball and he's looking, and Lukaku's running towards the box to obviously try and get in the box, and he's made the right run. He ran to the byline to try and get the cross in, but he had 3 Man City players around him. And when he turned round to try and find anyone, Kante and Jorginho Kovacic were at the halfway line walking. He had nothing. There was no one there. And every time it kept happening. Every time throughout the game.
But
There was no support.
okay, but even if they did come,
it requires
what are
a
they
lot
gonna
of
do in the box?
energy. But here's the thing: combination play, right? Conte was supposed to be the combination player, meaning he has the energy to do all that work in the back and get up and help and support Werner and Lukaku. He was sick. He didn't have the energy for that. So you never see Conte. He's sprinting after it. You know, if he sees Werner up there or any player, he's sprinting up to join the attack. That didn't happen this game because he was sick.
I have no issue with the 3-5-2. I'll be honest with you. I think it can work, right? But it does need the individuals to be able to play to a certain way for it to do so. My only issue with the 3-5-2 is I think he needs to understand that when you're playing against a team where you're not winning, if we were 1-0 up against City playing the 3-4-3 and we switched to 3-5-2, I get it. Because defensively, we were, especially in the first half, I was watching it, even though they had so much of the ball, they weren't doing much. We was dealing with it. We was dealing with it. My issue with it is that we should have done that in the second half and played the 3-4-3, got the goal, and then played that. And maybe bring on Kante for half hour if we had to. Do you know what I mean? Because then you might have been able to get away with it. That's what
it's pick your poison. It just pick your poison at that point, right?
You know?
I feel you, but it's just like pick your poison. It's either you soak up the pressure and then come the second half, you get the 25 minutes to try and win it, which is what we tried to do. If the goal didn't come, we probably would have had a better chance to do it that way. Or you play the 3-4-3, leave yourself a little bit more exposed. Let's be honest. When we did switch, we were exposed.
We'll go down. That's why we're exposed.
I get it. I get it. There's two different ways to look, but he probably looked at it the fact that he had 2 unfit midfielders. If he plays the 3-4-3, one's not going to be fit. So who's doing all the work in there? And you know that City was trying to crowd the midfield. You know that, right? So how are we going to compensate for that?
But here's what this is why I'm talking about bravery, right? Give players a chance to show you something different, especially when you have injuries and you have sicknesses.
Robin Loftus-Cheek should have played for content.
Yeah. Hold on, not even that. That's too much,
100%.
right? That's too much. But what you do have is this: you've played a 3-4-3 for a long time. The only difference in this game, the only player you don't have to play your system in the big games is Mount.
Yeah.
So just replace him with Havertz. Give Havertz that role and see what he can do. Give him that trust.
Like for like, though, really.
That's
right?
what
It doesn't have to be like for like. There is no like for like.
He saw
you're
that half in
assuming
Tottenham where it worked.
Because you don't have
right?
Mount, you can just play like Havertz and it's going to be fine. It's not going to be
I think
fine.
Robin.
No, but I'm saying you have to have another option when Mount isn't there, especially in these big games.
And I think
it can't be Mount's not here, so we go 3-5-2.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
I think Robin
100%.
is the closest thing to Mount.
I
more
agree.
than Kai Havertz.
See, Robin suits the 6th role because he doesn't have high energy levels. He does it. And to play that role, that 8 role,
back up. What?
Ruben Loftus-Cheek doesn't have high energy levels. The energy
well,
levels that he played really well.
He did.
That's not what I'm talking about. The amount of work that you have to do in that role.
First of all, when I said Robin Loftus-Cheek, I didn't say start Robin. When you see that Kante doesn't give it 100%, and you know that Kante was hurt or whatever is ill with him, if the coach knew that the way Kante is before the game, and when he played and he saw Kante is not doing what he does, he should have substituted for Robin Loftus-Cheek. I'm not saying he should start him. I'm saying he should
I,
substitute. Let me
I hear
finish.
what
I'll
you're
let you
saying.
let me finish. Reason why I wanted Loftus-Cheek, because Kante sometimes does not know what to do in offensive zone. Robin Loftus-Cheek is actually plays an offensive zone. He did well as a DM, but he also can play an offense. So he knows the both roles, and I think he would have been the game changer if before if we didn't concede. But since we concede, the whole thing needs to be flipped over. The conceding goal, the one that changed the game, and there's nothing to it. It's just like if the score was 0-0 and we changed to Robin Loftus-Cheek, we could concede it again. But since we conceded already goal, it changed the game. Robin Loftus-Cheek might not be changing at all. That's the difference.
I'm with you 100% on that. 100%.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't disagree with Conte being taken off. I just think it should have been for Havertz and not Ruben Loftus-Cheek in that role.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
because for a fact, and again, he doesn't obviously. And when he came out, he said it. Ziyech has been out of form. Havertz has been out of form or struggling, and that's why I went with a half fit Conte. And it's like I hear that, but I don't hear it because we all on this panel would agree that Mount is out of form.
What's the reason Kai Havertz didn't start?
That's what he said. He said he's out of form.
Okay, so when I'm telling you should play Robin Loftus-Cheek, do you think he sees two unfit players already on the field and he's in his head? Should I put the third unfit player?
What do you mean third unfit? He's not unfit.
Out of form, whatever.
Yeah, but as I was about to ask you guys, everybody on this panel will say currently Mount is out of form. Would he have played Mount?
I said it before. I will still start Mount out of form.
There you go. He would have, regardless of form, he would have still played Mount in that role. So the form thing to me is an excuse.
No, because the reason why you play Mount there is because he gives you more than just like the offense. Like
he hasn't been giving you that lately, though.
If as much as I give Mount stick,
but then he still plays the
does
role
show up in the
perfectly.
big games.
He's
the best man for that role. That's how I see it.
No, I agree 100%. But you have to have a replacement for him in that role. And why I wasn't saying Ruben Loftus-Cheek was I know he doesn't trust him that much yet. You've only played him once, but you've had Havertz for over 6 months, right? And you trust him. You have to give these guys a chance to prove themselves in some of these roles, because we can't go the whole season with only Mount can play this role in a big game. And I think he's going to get injured. And here's why. I think he's going to get injured. I think Mount is going to get injured more, only because this burnout is affecting him now. He's never been injured before, and he's been in poor form, and now he's injured.
You know what, Dan? I agree with you.
I agree with you, Dan, that the closest person to Mount was Havertz. To me, if he's going to if Havertz can increase his work rate, and
that's what I'm saying.
This game, the closest person is Havertz. But I think he would have done that. If he didn't get that glimpse at Tottenham where this system worked against Tottenham, and we saw how Tottenham did last night, so it probably doesn't even count. But he got some idea from that game and the confidence to do it this game. That's what that's what I blame him for, because against Tottenham, they were all over the place anyway, and I thought he might have thought it worked. So I think if he didn't see it at Tottenham, he wouldn't have done it. And we would have stuck.
But it did work though. Let's be real.
It did work.
Yeah, against Tottenham. But
it worked because Conte. It worked because Conte was super fit and he was pressing them. Remember the goal that he scored? He won the ball in their half and drove the ball at them. You know what I mean? That's what Conte was doing. But if Conte is not fit, he's not gonna do all that. So you kind of have like just a player just there, really. And I get it. He was.
You know what's funny, Dan? You know the example you just gave about a half fit, Mount or Havertz. Anyone here would have wanted a half fit Kante as well. You know what I mean?
Have fit or out of form. That's
sick is different, right? Like if he was carrying a small injury, energy levels will probably still be the same. He'd be bothered by it. Like we've seen Conte play with like niggling injuries. But when you're ill, that takes everything out of you. especially when you're sick. You
Yeah,
can't.
it's
He
like if
wasn't.
you have a flu, it's a different that you have a knock. Because like not
Yeah,
flu, but some kind of like viral sickness. That's a
yeah.
difference. That's like
He
a
shouldn't be even
drain.
playing.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no. Then now they have a vitamin packs that they shoot it
Yeah.
in the person, and they'll brings the. And there's the things. Let's say there's the things you can do now that actually brings you for temporary. Like you don't have those symptoms, and you have it's still not 100%, but there is options there, and I'm pretty sure they've done it. I just don't think it's actually how you say it. Like if it's a difference, like if it's like a weakness, you cannot beat that. But if it's like a knock versus knock, so I think he gambled on Kante that that it's a foul season now, so every viral thing is up in the air, so you can get something from anybody and be sick as like and not run at all. I just think the energy.
I think why it worked with Havertz coming in that game was because we had another runner, right? Someone that was going to stretch him, and we did score all right. It was offside, but we just looked so much more threatening against them, and they didn't know how to deal with it more. They didn't know whether to come or go or what, and you could tell that they were just unsure again of how to deal with the 3-4-3, and that's why I'm frustrated that we just didn't stick to just playing that at the beginning of the game, because I do think all right, they pressed well and they did they made it hard for
It
us.
looked like
I
we
just think
pressed well because we didn't
problem,
play well.
you know? I think
It
we just
looked like I think it's
because they tried that Redneck. They tried that in the Champions League final.
it
They
didn't work.
decided not to play a DM, and they went to press us as hard as they could. The problem with that
was
is
different intensity.
The problem with that is our intensity was just as good. We matched them.
And we
didn't match them.
I think it was a different game. I think it was a different game.
We had False 9. That's completely different game. We have
100%, man. You're hitting it right on the head.
Game.
Right, 100%.
No, but we broke the press. That's what we done. So
because we had the midfielders. We had midfielders on. Look. First of all, they did not have a DM in Championship League. Second of all, we had midfielders. Lukaku doesn't press like midfielder can press in the middle.
Thank you.
Do people
it's a different game. It's a different game, man. It was a different game, man.
Exactly. Actually, as a matter of fact, we never played them the same style we played against City. We played 3 or 4 times, and we played 4 times different ways. I don't know.
Do you think Lukaku should have came back? I think that's something he can do, and he probably should have done. He was too static up there.
I was never a big Lukaku fan.
Man.
I was never a big Lukaku fan in the beginning. I'm not blaming him for this game, and I think he's still going to be good for Chelsea. There is focal point. You have to play it different ways. With the focal striker versus false 9.
Lukaku you can still have runners of him though. That makes you can still
agree, but to have a runners, you have to have a midfield that can actually pinpoint the pass to the wing.
We haven't got that anyway. We've had that for ages. We've never had that, though, have we? That's the problem.
Okay, so the question is, why are we asking for Timo Werner to start if we don't supply him? Or why we're playing midfield did not support Lukaku up front?
I mean, the biggest problem for me was the fact that we couldn't get the wing backs forward. The wing backs were so far back, we couldn't get them
He was just running around, man.
No, he wasn't just running around. He played very well. I think he's the best player in that pitch, for Chelsea.
He had a performance. He had a performance that I've seen from guys like Ziyech and Pulisic. It wasn't. Listen, he was ineffective. I'm not blaming. Hold on, relax. He came on here.
No. I've been listening to you talking. When you watch that game very well, if you watch that game very well, Timo Werner played very well in that game. For me, I think he's the best player for Chelsea in that team, in that game, that weekend. So we losing that game is not about questioning the Chelsea players. Sometimes you have to look at the other way around. Man City, they are out.
I'll tell you that.
No, Man City, they are out for that game because they don't want to lose again, because losing again kind of like is going to be for them starting from day one, from first end. They started that game with high intensity, they really want that game. They really want it more than we want the game. So for us, I don't see anything about the game. For me, just like sometimes you just have to accept they lose, and when we win together.
I can't accept that. First of all, 2 things can be true. I didn't blame anybody for this game, but also nobody had a good game. I wasn't
He had a
blaming. I
better game
wasn't
than most.
blaming.
He had a better game than I
Yeah,
was
but he
there.
still had
He
a
had a
shit
better
game.
game than most. Trust me.
No, but you said
It's still a bad
that Bernard
game.
did not play very well. I'm just telling you that for me,
Didn't. None of them
he
did.
tried in that game. He tried in that game. He tried. For me, you don't need to, like, maybe that is the most important. When you see, like, sometimes people always look at Bernard that if Bernard did not score goal, he didn't play anything. But for me, if you take your time, try to observe his game, I think for the impact he made in that game is more than every other person in that team. So for me,
agree,
he
Colin.
played very well. So
That's
looking at
more of
it,
that's more
and
of an
sometimes
insult.
if you don't lose
Can I just jump in
sometimes
for a
you don't know
second?
how to move front. So for me,
Hold on,
losing
buddy.
that game is not a bad
Hey,
thing. Losing
saying that to
game
Werner is more of an insult than a compliment because that's how far he must have dropped for you to say he had a good
Nah.
game.
No.
Hold on. How does an attacker? How do you keep saying any attacker has a good
How many
game in
goals?
a game we have?
How many goals Firmino score for Liverpool? But you see contribution in the
We're
team.
talking about the Man City game. We're talking about Man City game. Stick to that
No,
because
I'm just telling you the
everyone
important
was
what
bad,
Bernard did for the team.
and you saw him
I'm
do
just
one
telling you that
run, and he went
because you
missing for
already
the
have
majority
that.
of the game.
You already
And
have
you
that.
said he had a
No,
good game.
Guys, one at a
you already
time,
have
man.
that. But you
Yeah,
already
stop
have.
shouting at each other. Stop shouting at each other. Relax.
You already have that. If Werner did not score goal, everybody knows it. Whenever Timo Werner played for Chelsea, maybe he did not score. People don't even appreciate the work or the kind of work he put in the game because that is the only guy that whenever he's playing, he play with all his full mind. And you give everything there, whether he's good
You know
or
what?
bad. But you try and give everything
Yeah, but
there.
I'm
So
saying it's bad. That's what we're saying though.
Okay, but
It's
then,
not as bad as
all I
it.
gotta say is
it's
this.
not
All I
bad.
gotta
It's
say
not
is
bad.
this.
It's just
How
because
can
of
you
Man
say an
City. Because Man
attacker?
City is
How can
good
you
for
say
the
an
game.
attacker had a good game when we had 0 shots on target?
Dan, that's
Man
because
City
there's
was
more
good.
to it than
Man
just
City
shots
was
on
good. Man
goal.
City was
What
good.
happened
Man
was
City was good.
he got into
Man
good
City
areas
was
onto
good.
the pitch. He got into
Man
good
City
areas
was
on the
good.
pitch and was unsupported. So when he was leaking out on the right, leaking out of the ref, making those runs and got the ball, he was completely
He
isolated
was.
and
It's
had
true.
nowhere to
That
go
is
with the
true.
ball. He
He was
played really
also
well. He
he was
got into
also
good areas.
1v1.
He got into good areas, but couldn't find the next pass, the next link. So it's
Because
not just
there is
him.
nobody there to pass.
I agree, Couch, but like his bad game was influenced by the rest of the team. I'm not going to say he had a good game though.
Can we just take one for the
Exactly.
team?
I
Because
I
can
I,
we just
I
take
agree
one for
with
the
that.
team?
Doesn't mean he had a
For
good
me,
game.
can we just take one for the
Played
team?
well.
For me, for me, when we lose that match on Saturday, I was not bad. I wasn't feeling too much angry about it because
No.
I wasn't feeling too much
Me
angry
too,
about it
because
because
every other team lost. That's why.
every other, yeah, because Man U, because even the game I was watching very well is that when Chelsea lost the game, Manchester United lost the game. Then I was looking at Liverpool. Then at the end of the day, Liverpool played 0-0. So I thought like it's a good week for me. If I can lose City, then and Man U lose to Aston Villa, Liverpool play draw against Bradford. So I take it because next season, if you check our runs now, our 6 games now, it's like that is when the team from there they have to kick off from that place. So if you can be able to get wins from all those games, I don't think anybody can catch us. You understand? So for me, I just think, and another thing again, I was happy because at the end of the day, the weekend ended well for me because I was following my Chelsea ladies. So they smashed Manchester United by 6-1. So I was kind of enjoyed the whole week because I didn't feel any bad because at the end of the day, I was very happy that the team, at least the female team, put smile on my face. So I wasn't feeling bad about it. So I guess Juventus will
Good
bounce
for
back.
you because I was pissed as fuck.
So was I.
That they lost that.
I never want to lose a game by getting outworked. I like it's kind of like we accepted. Oh, they wanted more. They should never wanted more than us.
No, it's not even. But my question to
We should
everybody,
listen.
one by one, answer
We
me a
should
question.
lose a game to Man City anyway.
No. Here's my thing. If we beat them,
Each one of you, please answer the question. We lost a game because of Chelsea, or we lost a game because of the Man City.
Chelsea.
We lost the game.
We lost the game because of ourselves.
We lost the game because of one. The team was not wasn't informed for the game. 2, Man City was good for the game. Man City was very good. If you see team that is very good, they are good for that day.
I don't know. I thought I speak English. But when I ask, like, did we lose because the Chelsea was playing bad, or we lose because Manchester City was so good against us?
They were good.
Answer yes or no.
I'm going with Chelsea.
I mean, I thought City was
we
really
lost
good.
the midfield battle, so we played bad.
I thought Man City was really good. I'm going to say that. I thought they were really good.
City was
they turned up. It's football, man. It's going to happen. We
Man,
are going to
they
need
still
it.
only had 4 shots on target. This is what I'm trying to understand. Like,
Yeah, it
if we
wasn't that
played our
good. That's what
game,
I'm saying.
this I'm
It
saying
wasn't
Bro,
they weren't exceptional. They didn't tear
no,
us apart.
it
We were
wasn't.
just
No.
so bad that we offered them nothing. That's
Yeah.
what people. They had 4 shots on target. This wasn't classic City tearing us apart and dribbling. No, they weren't doing any of that. We were just so timid. There was no energy, and we were playing so badly. That's how they were
My
allowed to
guy,
get that
that game
win.
could have been 3-0 easy. That game could have been 3-0 easy on another
It
team.
couldn't have been 3-0
But
easy because we
Mendy,
have a
Yes,
Mendy,
world class
Mendy,
keeper.
they got
Mendy
cleared off
came
the
out in that
line.
game.
Like, come on, man. That could have been
It
an
can't be
easy
3-0 easy
3-0.
because we have a world
It
class
could have
keeper.
been 3-0 because we were chasing
Sir,
the
he was
game
off
after
his line.
one.
Silva cleared one off the line. If he puts that anywhere else, it's in. Come on, man. That could have been an easy
And Mendy,
3-0.
Mendy saved that Greenish game. That Greenish, Mendy saved the game. Saved the
The
goal
first
from
the
Greenish.
first half, they had a lot of the ball, but not much end product. And I was there.
Mm.
It was very. They were good with it. They were trying to do it, but we were still dealing with it. If that made sense. If we had just switched it to a 3-4-3 in the second half, I think we would have won that game. I really do. I think we would have just changed. We would have just changed our whole motive. You saw how we played when we switched it to a 3-4-3. We looked more comfortable. All right, we might have got overrun in the middle, but you could have gone to a 3-4-3 in the second half, got a goal, and then gone back to a 3-5-2. I don't know. Brought Ruben on and gone back to a 3-5-2. It took Werner off a centre. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But it's the fact that we didn't change it. And once we didn't change it and we come out in the second half set up in the same way, there wasn't any sort of reaction. There's no reaction to no difference to what was in the first half.
Oh, the team will bounce back against Juventus, So they just know that they win against Juventus. So if they win against Juventus, everybody will just forget it and move on. So for me, it's just we lost one match, so nobody's going to die for it. And at the end of the day,
think of it like this, guys. I've got positive for you, all right? We played 6 games, and we're on 13 points, the same as Man City.
And we played tougher game that they played.
Man City, Collins, 1 second. Man City are on 13 points. Liverpool are on 14. Yeah, but we've played out of our 6 games. We've played Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, and Man City.
I don't want to hear Gino. I don't want to
And
hear.
to be honest, Jem,
we're not talking about. Well, Jem, we're not talking about the overall outlook of Chelsea. I was just only talking about that game. Like we're talking about that game and how we played.
Because we did.
I'm not taking
we did not play past 3 games.
I'm not taking it into like, we're gonna be,
games.
we're in a dire situation. No, I think we're still in a great spot, and I think we're still definitely favorites in my eyes. I'm just simply talking about this game and how Tuchel got it wrong for this game.
What I'm saying is, in our first 6 games, 13 points, I think we'd all take it, and we're sitting 1 point behind top. It's not the end of the world, is it? All right, we need to kick on, bounce back. But where we are at the moment,
but
is what it is.
I only felt bad because
Juventus is only like in the midweek, so we have that time to kick back. Because if we go on another draw or another loss, it could be affected because it's a game, and it's a game of confidence game. So if you don't have confidence, you just go on a spiral down if you're not going to play well.
Is that like a spice or something? Who the hell is that? What is this comment? If Mendy's world class, then Simiskas is world class. Who the hell is Simiskas? Who the fuck is that?
Left
back. We're talking about the Liverpool left back.
I just noticed.
I don't know who that is, bro. I'm sorry. Next comment.
I have heard of Simicast.
Hey, you're pretty much close, Dan. Like it is pretty much a Greek dish that you're describing. Then
I don't know what that is.
FIFA 22 player. FIFA 22 player.
Hey guys, when you guys were talking about Rudiger, I was listening to you guys when we are talking about Rudiger. For me, Rudiger is not going anywhere. He's just playing the normal thing.
He's gone, Collins. Go pick him up at the airport, bro.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere because if you look at it, Bayern Munich is not going to give Rudiger £300,000 a week because if you look, hold on. They allow.
Can you tell us why they won't?
Listen, they allow Alaba to go. They allow Alaba to go. They allow Alaba to go. You understand? So if you look at it, Madrid is not going for me. Madrid going to Madrid. What are you leaving Chelsea for? Because Chelsea is playing well. So all Rudiger have to do for me, if Chelsea can give Rudiger like £250,000 a week, I think the young guy will just sit there. You understand? So he's not going anywhere. For me, just mark it. Rudiger is not going anywhere. He's staying in Chelsea. So all these things.
Why wouldn't they give him 300 a week? You said. Why wouldn't they?
No,
he's going to be a free agent. Of course, they're going to give him 300 a week.
You can't give Rudiger 300,000 pounds. Somebody that is on like about 70,000 to
free
400.
transfer, Colin.
You can't just do
Free
that.
transfer.
You can't from 70,000 to 300. You can't. You want to. You just want to do everything because everybody will be like, if they want to renew their contract, they will expecting the same thing. So you don't have to maintain the whole thing. So like 200,000, 250 is okay for me. Giving Rudiger. So if you don't want to collect 200, 250, you can find another way. You can buy the French guy in Bayern Leverkusen. He's been playing more. You understand? So if you can get the guy like 50 million, he's a better player than Rudiger. So for me, I don't see Rudiger going. He just mark my word, he's going to stay. The young guy not going to say he's not going anywhere. So for me, Rudiger is not going anywhere. I don't think.
And I'll tell you,
I agree,
my
Colin.
word,
There's
he's
still a
leaving.
lot of season. He's staying for the rest of the season.
It's not the right of he's going to sign a new contract.
There's no way we're giving him that money. There is no way he's staying.
He's not getting 300k. He's not getting 250. He's not even going to get 230 from us, mate. Like,
It's not. It's too much for 70 to like 300. You can't do that. Who does that? You can't.
He can get 300 when he goes for free agent. That's free agents always
Exactly.
get higher wages.
Nobody's going to give him 300,000. Nobody's going to. Nobody.
Just look at the Alaba salary. Just Google. Use the Google and check Alaba's salary.
Yeah, he's
check Alaba.
Redneck. He's not Alaba, man.
Redneck. You know what though?
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Wasn't Alaba go like at 30?
It's not about Alaba versus Rudiger. It's about money.
I know, but I was saying.
He's saying we're not gonna pay him. We're not gonna pay him. Check Alaba. We already paid him.
Okay, but you know what though? That salary. You know how Spain works, right? They negotiate their wages net of taxes. They get taxed 50%. So if he's getting 400,000 euros,
is 50%.
I don't know what the taxes in the euro.
Yeah, 50.
But in Europe, well, they're still getting more because the pound's stronger, right?
Yeah,
the pound's stronger than the euro.
50% of pound, 50% of euro is the same thing.
No, it's
like
not.
It's still. I'm not saying the value of the money. I'm saying it's still 50% of tax.
Yeah, it's still 50% regardless.
But it's a stronger dollar though. Am I correct or no? Like
yeah.
So if you get 400,000, if you get 400,000 in Europe, what is that net?
About
200, right?
Yeah.
It's about 200 and it's late 200s actually. It's not even that actually. I think it'd be more. Let's have a look.
It's probably about 220, 230 probably.
Take that in consideration, guys, when you see those numbers.
It's 256,000 a week. Yeah, that's what it is in sterling.
Euros,
so
right?
No, 300k euros is 256,000.
Rudiger is not going to go because one, he's playing one of the best, as in his best game now, and he's playing under the coach who trusts him. So why are you leaving the club to go for another team?
I mean, because he's waited. Listen, if he wins the Premier League, he's completed all he has to win in football. He just needs to make money.
Exactly.
150,000% he's leaving Chelsea. If we win in the league.
Especially if we win the league, he's won it all: Champions League, Europa League, FA
Cup.
Cup.
I agree.
If he let's say right, if you don't
I'm gonna make some money.
Yeah, but let's say if he doesn't go right until the end of season, or if he waits until that, like what Messi did to negotiate, and if we do win the league and he hasn't got no pre-contract agreement, he's going to demand 200k anyway because we won the league.
Yeah, he's gonna demand what he's gonna demand what he's asking for now, and he's gonna have more reason after we win the league.
Yeah, he's gonna have a stronger reason. So this is what we left. We're going to have to negotiate now.
But it also helps him in the open market because he's leaving as a Premier League champion. So if Bayern need that strong leadership or whatever, they'll sign him.
He's not going to Bayern.
And don't forget.
I'm just saying. I mean,
I'm saying
maybe not Bayern,
all
but
the clubs, Bayern definitely can afford them.
Bayern they got two defenders now. Like if this was Bayern last year when they needed defenders, they would 100% go for Rudiger. But they got two defenders now. They got Upamecano.
He doesn't even need to win the league, to be honest. They're going to hit him up in January. Not for January transfer, but they're going to start talking to him in January before even the season finishes. So before they know we win the league or not, they're gonna start.
Real Madrid. I think he's going to Real Madrid, man,
He's
and
going
it's
Real
fine.
Madrid. That's
Go to Real Madrid.
100%.
I would too.
Maybe he prefers Germany.
What a Chelsea fan you are.
Maybe Bayern might hit him up.
You
Like,
crazy? What?
if they come close.
I'm making 400K. Listen, give me that white shirt, man. What's going on? Give me that white shirt. give me that white shirt, bro. I'm going to.
I'll give you a fruit of a loop.
Give me nah. I need that jersey, man. I need that number. I need that number 4. I need that number 4. Nacho, give me that number 4, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, especially there is a possibility of Conte becoming a coach of Real next season. And Conte is playing 3 at the back. He will
come on, man. I need that jersey quick.
If Conte does go, then Rudiger's definitely going to Madrid.
He's going either way, man. Let's be honest.
Man, I can't see Conte at Real Madrid.
And they're gonna have a 6 team next year as well.
I think Conte is gonna go next season too. And I said,
I don't want Conte to go to Manchester United. He can go to another club, but I don't want him to go to Manchester United because if he go there, they are winning the league. I'm telling you.
Don't worry, he's never going there.
If Arsenal or Tottenham pay good money's talking.
Money talks, mate. And you're going to find out how much money talks with Rudiger, whether he stays or go, trust me. If he does get offered 250k and Chelsea offer him 180 and he decides to leave, then it is what it is, isn't it? Like,
but information is Chelsea's offering him 200,000, like 140. Okay, 140. The last information I say from Matt Law is 440, something like that. So,
I don't know, mate. It's just too early to even be talking about. I just want Chelsea to sort it out and just be clear about it. At least we know if he's staying, if we know he's going, we can move forward.
Guys, I want everybody to support the ladies because if you are watching Chelsea female teams and you are not watching the female team, man, you are losing. Because if you want to enjoy football, you got to watch the female team. So, yeah, play.
Hey, we haven't been playing that bad to start watching ladies, have we?
You have to watch it. Like last night, I was watching Manchester United.
We do.
Well, you just told us that you were sad. You had to watch it to make you feel good. We're not doing that. Come on, what's up?
No. See, it's not about for me. I do follow Chelsea female team from day one.
I'm just joking, bro. I'm joking.
I'm a big fan.
I watch different type of ladies to be happy.
Everyone's saying we can't give a centre
back. If I
want
to get cheered up, I'm not watching ladies soccer. I'm watching ladies volleyball.
What we're saying here, guys. Let's move on from that. Everyone's saying we can't give a centre back 200k if we've got JT and 300k a week.
Yeah, but JT and Rudiger.
Bro, don't mention his name again, man. Come on.
Exactly, man. JT's on a different planet.
Are you stupid? JT.
Why the fuck are you talking about
what's wrong with this guy, man?
We are in the middle of a fucking turmoil.
Johnny never gets exposed. Big up Johnny in the chat as well. Saying Johnny, big up to you, my guy.
Class talking.
Bro, we are in the middle of a turmoil. The team doesn't know its tactics, formation. Tuchel doesn't know what he's doing, and we are talking about Rudiger. Listen, we are fucked.
There we go.
We are fucked with Lukaku. Okay. I don't know why you guys are not reactionary. Why are you guys not reactionary? Why are you guys chilling out? Talking about as if nothing happened. Listen, when Wayne...
No, this is the one loss, man. It's not like we're on
the to be honest, let him finish. I want to hear it. I want to actually hear this.
When we scored that goal against Invincible team, Arsenal got found out. Arsene Wenger was finished. When Ronaldinho scored against Real Madrid, Madrid couldn't win leagues or Champions League for 2-3 years until they signed big players. We are fucked. We are not winning Premiership with this team. We are not winning Champions League with this team.
Why?
Listen, Tuchel is not ready to compromise. We have got this guy, 100 million guy, Lukaku up front. He's not willing to do back four. And now we all finally got RLC. We can have RLC and Jorginho and we can do back four. And then we can have an extra body in attack. And Tuchel is not willing to compromise.
Who would you put on Classic?
Is he gonna put this 100 million guy under the
You said
carpet?
you said extra attacker. You said extra attacker. If we go back for.
I'm not talking about players. I'm not naming players who should be put up front, nothing. But the first thing is he needs to accept. I love this back three formation. I'm the biggest fan of back three formation. But now Tuchel needs to realize that Peter Cech, our technical director, has had a short-sighted signing of Lukaku. Now he needs to understand.
Short-sighted.
No, so Classic, can I ask her what makes it short-sighting? Because the back four has nothing to do with Lukaku as he's up front.
It has. Don't mention me about that back five Conte did with Inter Milan. That's a whole different story. Lukaku didn't win Champions League over there, right? So listen, right now.
No, but he won the league, which is what we're trying to do.
Hey, he was bored. He was bored on Saturday morning, mate. Lukaku was very bored in Saturday.
If you play Lukaku, you need to understand. Go back four.
Jim, can I come in? Please?
Yeah, go on, mate.
We're waiting for you to wake up, cousin.
Well, mate, I tested positive yesterday, so I'm off work last 15 days.
Oh, fuck, dude. Sorry to hear, man.
Yeah, so yeah, my little boy had it, and he gave it to everyone.
Man, I was gonna give you a banter for your comments last time. Man, now I feel bad. I was waiting for you to show up on the stream so I can.
I am, mate. You can give me as much as
you
you want.
I'm gonna feel bad. Now I'm gonna feel bad. Give you.
No, go ahead, mate. Go ahead. It's no problem.
What happened to Man City's parking the bus?
I don't think I agree with Jim. I don't think it was special. We know how they're gonna do. I think Chelsea lost the game. I didn't think City won it.
That, but
Chelsea lost the game.
City's gonna park the bus.
Oh.
They did park the bus, redneck, in our half. That's what they did.
If you watch the game, I don't think City they were special. During that, the chances they create, even the goal they scored, they just was deflection. I think Chelsea were there. We just say basically lost the game to them because you just didn't want to know. That's my opinion. But that's down to Tuchel. I thought Tuchel was very poor tactically, and I thought Lukaku was very, very poor as well. Because I thought Werner worked hard. I thought Lukaku, you need to work hard for the team.
I understand what you're saying. For me, it's hard to say like who's at fault, because like people that claim somebody's fault, it's a chain. It's a domino effect. If one person in the structure is not performing well, it's a domino effect. So blaming a game on forwards and defender, like, look, if the midfield has a bad game, it affects forwards, it affects defense, because they don't structure to go forward. So that means that the Man City is going to pressure defense more. So you have more mistakes to make in defense. It's a kind of moot point blaming one particular saying somebody didn't show up when it's structurally broken in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but my guy, when you play a game, when you play in Man City, and you're not gonna see a lot of the ball, you got to drop deep. That's what Harry Kane sometimes does with.
Why do you know that? Why don't we see a lot of the ball?
Exactly.
We've played them 3 times and we've seen a lot of the ball. So why would this time be different?
No.
The system was different this time.
Listen.
Tuchel was different. No, we had the personality was different than Tuchel.
Say that again, sorry.
We could have approached this game the same as the last 3, and we would have had a better result. I think.
But last 3 we were playing with false 9. Last 3 we didn't have a proper number 9. Yeah. That's different.
Yeah, but we could have done the same thing and asked Lukaku to do a job. To drop deep at times, right? Not to do almost a false 9. Play the 3-4-3. We did it last time. We would have beat them again because their approach to the game was similar to the last 3 times we versed them, right?
Yeah,
they didn't change a lot.
That's my point. I don't think Man City was special. I thought Chelsea were poor. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Can I just say something else as well? In the second half, personally,
it's a massive deal because there are clubs like Leeds United, Aston Villa that are willing to copy things, and they're going to do the same thing in the future. I see Premier League as more like a marathon, not like a knockout like Champions League. For me, one game doesn't matter, but what I see in Premier League is how it's going to affect our future. what I see right now is City banked us. They were celebrating as if they won Premier League, and they had a right to do it because now they have told teams like Leeds United, Aston Villa, other teams how to beat us.
And you do know they're against Liverpool next week, and they got PSG midweek now.
Yeah, but listen, I tell you something. Just regard that game. You know what I would have done, Jim? I don't know, Jim, if you agree with me or not. Right? Second half, first half we were very, very poor. What I would do is personally, I took a Lukaku off. I would have taken Lukaku out, and I bought Werner as a false 9, and I introduced Havertz because Lukaku was not offering anything. I would have taken Lukaku out, in my opinion, because last 3 times we did beat him with false 9. And when you play against City, you need
last
people
3 times we had 3 attackers. We had 3 attackers on the pitch, which drew players away. Every time Lukaku had the ball, Werner was making a run, and he had three players on him.
Man, Lukaku.
What is the expectation? What is the expectation? Your expectation every time can't be he should push off 3-4 players and slide the ball through. That's not gonna happen. There was no combination play.
Can we just agree? Can we just agree on this for one thing? Did we lack width?
That was an
issue.
Did
we lack width?
You know?
Yes, definitely.
We lacked width. Okay, so what was the problem with the width? Where do we get width from? We get width from the wing backs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where were the wing backs for the majority of the game?
They'll pin back.
Exactly. That's the game right there. Instead of playing a 3-5-2, we resorted to a 5-3-2 because we couldn't get the wing backs forward because of how City
pressed. That's true.
Simple.
Yeah, but that's where they started pressing from, Couch. Sorry, man. That's the worst mistake to make. That's when they started pressing on. If you saw when the wingbacks got the ball, and they pressed from that side.
One more point, and then I have to go. Like I have to really go.
Johnny's mentioned Mount now. Johnny, big up Johnny, by the way, and more from
Johnny deserves to say that. Everyone was ripping on Mount before, right?
Bro,
even just for him, and now he missed and we lost. Go, Kasif.
I need to say, listen, the loss is really big. You guys are chilling. Don't be reactionary. Show your emotions.
Kasif, you know why we're chilling? Because we watched the women's game. That's why. And they won. You got to watch the women's game. Kasif.
Advice to yourself and
like
go get
this
a
is not
hooker, get a
basic. Like Lukaku was shit, or Werner didn't do shit, or Kante was sick. This is nothing basic. This is a proper issue. Like City has beaten us. We have been found out, and every team we need to be reactionary. We can't come here chilling talking about Rudiger.
Fire Tuchel.
We already spoke about that, Klasarif. We've said what the problem was with Man City and Chelsea.
I see a lot of future problems right now. Like if Tuchel
after one game, that's a bit harsh.
You do know on this channel we did a couple of weeks ago, right? The start of the Premier League, we did a prediction of how many points we would be happy with. And majority of us, I don't know if all of you agreed with it, but some of us, including me and Jem, agreed that either 5 wins, a draw, and a loss, or something like an unbeaten run, or just 1 loss, we'd be happy with it, and we'd be happy between 13 to X amount of points or whatever it was. And at the moment, 1 loss out in terms of overall, 1 loss when we played majority of the big 6 teams. The only hard team we got now is United.
Yeah, but the way we lost, mate. The way the manners we lost the game. That's what I'm talking about. Anyone can lose against Man City, but it's just the manners we lost. We were very poor first half, and he didn't change it second. That's my point.
He did change it.
Yeah, that's your point, though. But I'm just talking. Listen, man, football is how we bounce back.
Bro, he needs to use Lukaku properly. If he doesn't use it, Peter Cech, Marina's going to have a problem with Tuchel. Use that guy properly. He's not going to be our last year. He's not going to provide us tiki-taka football, which Mount Harvest Werner provided, right? So he needs to go back to the platform. Now we've got RLC Jorginho RC can say
Yes, I gotta go. Yes.
do it.
No,
Bro.
but
Like, what are you
I
waiting
agree with
for?
Classref
Class
on
F,
that
Class
point.
F, could
And
I
this is
I
could
do
I ask
agree.
you
You know
something?
why?
people are
We
talking
haven't
about we
learned how
can
to
do
play
back.
with a
No,
striker
no,
yet,
wait.
like
People are
out and out
talking
number
in
9.
the chat like we can
Like the
do
way
back
we break
4
the
and do
press.
back 5. Listen, you can only do one formation one season. There is a lot of issues having two formation in one season. It's not physically possible in training. It's not practically possible. There's a lot of physical logistic, and not physical logistic you require when you
Logistic.
want two kind of a
Yeah.
formation. Listen, we can only do one formation, and right now is the season. We know
What are
Lukaku
you
is there.
talking
We can
about?
only do back
I
4,
don't
and
know.
we can't do back 5
Oh
and
yeah,
back.
guys, let him talk. Go, carry on your point, Class F.
Bro, go on.
Fantastic, man. Big up to
We can
Classref,
do
man.
two
Classref,
formation,
big
but
up to
it's
you.
not. It's a fucking football team. It's not a fucking what?
It's logistics.
It's not a playground.
Logistics.
Oh, we do
Yeah.
today back 4. We will do tomorrow back 5. When Lukaku doesn't play, we do back 5. When Lukaku plays, we do back 4. That doesn't. Listen, it's really difficult to do everything
That's
in
a lot,
training.
fanatical.
Can I just say something against Juventus, guys? Marata got injured, and
It's
Uh,
actually
Dybala.
good for Juventus, not for us.
Yeah.
yeah, Dybala got injured last against Sampdoria, and Marata. So the front line is injured really. So Chelsea should go there and get the 3 points.
Do you know, Redneck? You know how I think there was one time he said
I
that
have
he
to
was
go,
like an
Jan.
emotional
I have
player.
to
I
go,
think
guys.
that he
Thank
would have
you,
turned
guys.
up against us.
Who?
I would have said the
have
same
a
thing.
have a
The
good one,
Who's that?
Morata,
Classref.
yeah.
Who's that?
You know,
Sorry,
you
who
said
is
I
that?
agreed when you said that helps Juventus, but then I was thinking
Oh.
he would have turned up against us.
Yeah.
Big
He
up
would
to
have had a
man,
lot of
man.
rage.
He
Big
will
up
be
to
the
man.
one that actually celebrates against Chelsea if he would have scored.
Yeah.
I agree. He would have scored. He would have celebrated.
Look,
And
I was going to say.
I don't blame the bastard.
Yeah. Hey, the positive everything, you know, how like words were found out, we've been found out, and all that stuff. Yeah, if we're being found out in this formation, this setup, that's good. Who cares? We're not. I don't see us doing it again.
Classref should manage Chelsea, is what Champions of Europe is saying. Some people think
He's going to be the
that's
first Tuchel outer.
We'll be in the mud,
I
man.
think somebody in the chat overheard me saying Tuchel out, thinking that I wanted Tuchel out. I was just reactionary to Classref's comments. We need to be reactionary. I said, okay, let's go big or not at all. Fire Tuchel.
Yeah, everyone's like you lectures and everything. Here we go. Tuchel out. We're getting in. Tuchel out by a Liverpool fan. That's a Liverpool fan. We'd want that though. Do you know what I mean? Of course, he'd want that. Tuchel out. VJ, what you saying, man?
Jim, can I ask you, Jim? You in the game and you're watching it live, Jim. Do you think he was more first half and he didn't change it a bit? Makes you anxious, if you know what I mean. After first half, what do you think?
Tuchel.
Tuchel.
Yeah. We struggled because of what Couch said. Our wing backs were pinned, and every time we played the ball in the midfield, we had an half-injured Kante and Jorginho that were just lackluster on the ball. We just couldn't progressively get the ball out quick enough, and we kept getting caught. And we didn't play to our strengths, which was get the ball up the pitch quick. Because I think Lukaku and Werner could have really done some damage if we would have played them in a lot more. We didn't, and you know, it didn't work. It just didn't work. And he should have gone back to a 3-4-3. I said it before I even went to the game. I said to you guys when we were on Mo's channel, I said, I would have stuck to a 3-4-3 instead of trying to do something different. We've beaten them in this formation 3 times in a row. And when we did make that change and when we went back to a 3-4-3, I just thought we looked, all right, we looked a bit more open because we was chasing the game, but we looked more threatening. It's like they were struggling to have an answer for that system. It's like they still don't understand what to do with it. You know,
I don't want to cut you off, but like, would you say that like when Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on, were City pressing the same as they were in the first half? Because it looked like they dropped off.
They dropped. Yeah. They dropped.
So we weren't really contesting their press anymore, right?
But what I would say is that Ruben was driving with the ball, and even when they did press, he was breaking their press in many ways because he was finding the space to run into, and that was helping massively.
Right.
And he looked sharp. He looked fit. You know, he looked fitter than Kante. He looked fit. He looked like he's
gonna start versus.
I mean, Redneck said it, man. Redneck said it. He needs to be getting more minutes right now, especially when we don't have a fit midfield.
It's not that I watched
him get good enough to play.
But when did Ruben come on though?
1 second, declared.
75.
He picked the ball up, and he ran reminded me of Sarri, Ruben. He got the ball and he ran, and Bernardo Silva was chasing him, and he just flattened him on the floor. Like literally, the guy they were bouncing off him. They just couldn't stop him. They couldn't contain him, and that in itself is a threat in itself. You know, we don't have big midfielders. Jorginho and Kante are small, delicate guys. Him just being able to drive with the ball.
Delicate,
isn't it? You know what I mean? But it's small in many ways. But
Delicate.
he gives us something different. Do you know what I mean? Being able to progressively run with the ball comfortably, like Kovacic, but with an end product, because he has got end product. Ruben, he can play that ball, and that's what I want to see more of.
And he has a physical appearance in the box on the set pieces.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he nearly
scored
from a
corner
corner as well.
Villa game.
He nearly scored from a corner as well. To be fair,
that's the thing, Jem. Too. I reckon if Mount was fit, we would have played the way you just said, 3-4-3.
Yeah.
I
was
think
calling for it too.
Yeah. And like you said, I would have loved to see Ruben probably fill out
Mount.
Where Mount played, or even Havertz. Like, just it's kind of sad that he actually thought this was better than when we don't have Mount, that this was the alternative.
Yeah, he made the wrong decision. And that's on him to a degree, but at the same time, he was let down by certain individuals. But he picked the individuals, so you could point that it was a bit of both in many ways.
So Jim, could you say if we had an informed cover that he would have done like what the glimpses that you saw of what Loftus-Cheek was doing, that cover could have been doing some of that?
That was what I was expecting.
Three midfielders, cover was actually the better one.
No, he wasn't. No, not from. That is what I'm saying. He was
maybe from the stand that you watched, but from the eagle view, he was better than Jorginho and.
He wasn't playing to any of his strengths.
How you can play good when two of your teammates are playing shit?
No, but what I'm getting at, Redneck, is we know Kovacic's strengths. When he has the ball, be direct and drive into space. There was a number of times where he picked the ball up in midfield and he went sideways. I wanted him to just drive. It was like he didn't have
nobody was there to pass it.
But there was space, and he wasn't running into the space. He was more happy to just do 1-2s with Jorginho and Kante and just try and get us down the wings. I mean, rather than be like what Loftus-Cheek did when he came on, direct. Run at them. Do you know what I mean? And
I don't think that we've encountered a press like we saw yesterday. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I don't think that we've seen a press like that before.
Because no one dares press us.
No, we saw it against City, against Spurs.
But not
in
press
was completely
they did
different.
it in a 3-4-3
top.
When they switched to a 3-4-3, they didn't want to press. It's like they didn't like the idea of doing that because of what happened last time.
I have to teach you a domino effect. If you the reason you get pinned in the back is because forwards don't hold the ball. Why the forwards don't hold the ball? Because midfield doesn't supply the ball enough. So it's a domino effect. If the forwards don't hold the ball, you're gonna be pinned. If the midfield doesn't supply to forwards,
the forwards have got to get the ball though.
Exactly.
We don't do that.
You're right.
We want to do sideways pass, get out of this area. We got into a corner once, right? Where Aspen.
Who's our most important
and
midfielder?
Instead of hoofing it, we're trying to play 1-2s in our own box to try and get out of the area. Just fucking keep the thing up. You got Werner and Lukaku halfway up the pitch with 2-on-2.
But here's the problem with that though, and Tuchel actually touched on it too when he said that we tried to lump it up to Lukaku, and the attack died right there because he had no support. Nobody was getting forward. Like our midfield was so static, they didn't have any thrust going forward, and we didn't have the support from the wing backs. So every time Lukaku got on the ball, time Lukaku got on the ball, he was crowded up by three defenders. Rodri, what's his face?
Yes.
What's the center back there? The two center backs. So
you
know what I'm talking about. Diaz and Laporte. Yeah, he was crowded up by all three of those guys, and we couldn't build attacks.
He made it easy.
Even when we went long, we couldn't do it.
He made it easy because I agree with Redneck. He's very static. He's a striker that doesn't want to run around and do like when we had the false nine. You had movement, right? Because everyone was doing that.
But you also had three players up there, so you could actually who was he moving with?
No, but it was very.
You just alternated from him and Werner because it was two up top.
It was but Werner was running off him. Don't get me wrong, Werner was making runs, but only one individual. You've got one guy static holding the ball up and one guy trying to run. As before, we had three guys up front, all interchanging and making runs. It's different. It's completely.
That's why I was saying, James, second half he should have took Lukaku off.
No, that would have made things even worse.
I think second half should have taken. What do you mean?
Hey,
no, if he's poor, he's got to be taken off, mate.
Who are you bringing on for?
Yeah, but we need a goal. We need a goal.
Hang on a minute. You're telling me if
So you
he's
take
poor,
off your
he
goal
can't play?
scorer. So you take off your goal scorer when you need a goal.
Hang on a minute. If your goal scorer's poor, you got to take him off, mate.
No,
but
you
we're
can't.
down.
We don't
We're
have
down a
any other
goal.
goal scorer.
We're down a goal at that time.
So who's scoring for us?
Last year in the Champions League, hang on a minute, just hear me out. You asked me the question, so let me answer, right? Last year, we played the Champions League and we won the Champions League final, and we didn't have Lukaku, mate.
Yeah, but we had Mount.
Am I right?
Did we have Mount in this game?
Yeah, because
no, you should have
we weren't
introduced
losing.
Havertz, mate. No, listen. You should have introduced. Listen, you like it or not, Lukaku was very poor, man. It was very poor.
Okay, you're saying that it's because of the system that we played. If you take Lukaku off when we need to score a freaking goal, we're not getting any goal.
He's our best goal scorer.
So hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. How do you know that? But if you change a bit the system and formation, man, you could have got a bit of goal. The issue is with Tuchel. It started second half. It's exactly what he started the first half. That's why we got beat.
You know what? We don't have to rely.
He didn't change it out. That's my point.
I don't disagree with that, but that has nothing to do with Lukaku. He didn't change it. He didn't give an extra. He didn't give an extra.
Anything. Well, they were playing with the same man, mate.
What is Lukaku supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? He's supposed to muscle two muscular defenders off him, dribble the ball, and then slide Werner through, who's just running, who doesn't want to play combination play. You remember that sequence at the end of the match? Lukaku gets the ball. There are two players on him, and Werner looks at him and sprints off. Where are you sprinting to? What is the expectation there?
Space.
I mean,
no.
I kind of feel that we are being very harsh on Werner first of all for this particular match because I felt Werner was preparing. Yeah, Werner played better than Lukaku to be honest. And
he was just running, bro. I'm sorry, I can't let you guys tell me.
Daniel,
he was running.
Stop it. No, Werner actually played better than Lukaku yesterday. That's how I'd put it. And the thing is, when we went back to a 3-4-3 with Havertz coming in, we actually looked better. So you cannot tell me that bringing in Havertz did not have an impact. And
I agree.
We did not have to rely on Lukaku last year, the entire year, and we still managed to win a Champions League. So why have we all of a sudden just become reliant on Lukaku? I mean, I understand Lukaku is a premium striker. We brought him for a very good fee and all that. But if he's having a bad game, it does.
You got to take him
Exactly, you have to take him out.
VJ, I got an answer for you. I do have an answer for you, right? For what you just said, and this is where you can get a similar comparison, right? When Conte, this is more closer to Conte's system, right? This setup that we just did, and when he's pinned at the back, and what he relies on in his system is a direct ball, right? And that's how he played at Inter. So his system relies on long balls to Lukaku, and then he can make something happen with Martinez or whoever he's done it before. One big man to hold the ball, right? And that's what this game was probably meant to be, and it never happened. No one ever kicked it direct. This game was meant to be more direct. Well, that pinned, and we're trying to work it out, and we're trying to get to his feet, but it had to be direct.
Can I come into that? Can I come into that, please, mate?
Yes, Kazim, go.
All right, listen, Declare. Right, when we played that system, I agree with you, but when you play that system first 45 minutes and it's not working whatsoever, because Man City is just on the ball, mate. You got to take Lukaku out, mate, and you introduce Werner, introduce Havertz. Lukaku.
You have a point.
Wait. So the expectation. So it's Lukaku.
If it was nil-nil, all right.
Hold on. So with Lukaku struggling to do with Diaz and Laporte, you think Havertz is the one to deal with them?
No. Lukaku is a target man.
He plays differently.
And obviously, for 45 minutes, a target man system won't work. You need a runners, mate.
I agree with that.
So you got to change it around. That's my point.
You need runners with the target man, not runners without the target man.
No. Hang on a minute. As I said to you, last year Champions League final, we didn't have a target man.
We had 3 runners.
That's why I'm saying you take the target man out 45 minutes.
What he's saying, basically.
You're not making sense. You're saying at halftime take off 2 players when we already took off 1 player due to an injury. That's what you're saying. Do at halftime take off 2 players. You take Lukaku off and you have Havertz and Werner up top. That's what you have up top. You don't have 3 runners. You have 2.
Can you hear this, Johnny? Can you hear this debate?
So who's the third runner in that? in those two, who's the third runner? You have
to
Werner.
me,
You've taken Lukaku off, and now you have Havertz on. So who's the third runner in that team?
Kovacic has got to be pushed forward. Kovacic, because he's good with the ball. He was playing deep and he was playing Kante.
Kovacic and Jorginho had stinkers, mate.
Yeah, they all did, and Kante.
I think COVID hit you in the head real hard.
To this
You need to
agreement,
let go of
Kazim,
that. Midfield doesn't supply.
You tell me. You tell me of you.
I'm telling you, midfield did not supply Lukaku. How do you expect three in the front to be supplied with? If we do,
it's obvious. You go
if
back
the
to
midfield doesn't supply the ball to the forwards, even if it's 3 up front, 4 up front, 10,000 people up front, if you don't get supply, you don't win. It doesn't matter what Lukaku will have done or change Lukaku for. If midfield doesn't supply you the ball, you will not hold the ball.
Look, let's have it right.
I kind of have a slight
argument.
Let's
have it right. Yeah. So the problem for me was when Reece James went off. That's when I knew the game wasn't going to look too good for us, because for me, Reece James, when he does get forward, he's got that directness and delivery.
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
I don't think you're being honest, Johnny, bro.
as you saw,
You knew before the game when Mount wasn't playing.
No. We'll get on to that. But what
I agree.
What I'm saying to you is, Aspie got into some lovely positions in the second half when we tweaked our setup, right? And if that was Reece James on the pitch,
he would have.
I guarantee. I'm not saying we would have scored, but I think we would have caused them a lot of problems.
I was yelling at TV when I saw.
And Lukaku was also yelling actually, and he was wanting the ball there.
There was one occasion specifically that I remember I was going nuts when Aspie had the chance to cross it first time. It was the first time we broke in.
Yeah,
and
he went backwards. I was next to him.
Yeah.
Johnny, I was next to him when he done that. I was swearing it.
So the problem was, right? Yeah, we didn't have Mason Mount, and that is like I said to you. Yeah, it's true, man. He's the glue of the team. He's the cement. He's the brickwork. He's the minerals.
No, Jem. Don't hear we go. It's a fact.
It's a fact, bruv. It's facts. And at the end of the day,
so we can't play without Mason Mount. Is that what you're saying?
No. In this game specifically, you're not going to get enough progression out of Kovacic, Kante, and Jorginho.
I agree with him.
Right? Now, when Loftus-Cheek come on, it was a bit better, but it was too late for me.
It was better.
No, Havertz didn't do enough. And also, I'm going to call this one, right? In my opinion, I felt like the way that we were set up and we were playing, especially in second half, was more of a tiki-taka style. And the only way to beat City, when Loftus-Cheek was breaking their press, because that was the difference. That's what Mason Mount would have done. He would have broken their press. He would have pressed Rodri more and harder, and then they wouldn't be able to press and play the way they do, and we can counter them and hit them. But what happened was, right, is when Loftus came on, he would break a press, but there was no outlet. For me, personally, I would have taken Lukaku off in the second half. I would have stuck Kai Havertz as a false 9. That's what I would have done.
You took Lukaku off.
Well, that's why I was trying to say, Johnny. That's why I was trying to say. Lukaku should have been off second half. I agree with you, Johnny.
If you had Reece James on the pitch, you leave Lukaku. But because Reece James wasn't on the pitch, for me, you take Lukaku out of the game. It's not a diss to Lukaku. It's just
you still have Kante.
Yes, I agree.
Wait, so Johnny, you still have the midfield of Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic, but the only difference is now you have Havertz and Werner up top, and you think that's better?
No. You'd need Loftus-Cheek. You'd need Loftus-Cheek.
You need Loftus-Cheek, yeah. Or Kovacic.
So you would no, hold on. You guys aren't listening. So you're going to make a double sub at halftime when you've already made a sub. That's what you guys are asking for. A double sub at halftime.
No, second half, Daniel, I would have let Lukaku stay on for about 60 minutes, and then I would have made the change. I wouldn't have made it at half time. I would have seen listen, I called it when they got that stupid corner. I called it. I bet they get a deflected goal. I said it to the old man. All right, and then literally Jesus took a shot, a deflection, and a goal off Jorginho. And that was the only way they were going to score, because they were wasteful the whole game. They ain't going to last the whole season without a striker. I'll tell you that now. They got lucky this game.
They weren't that good.
They pressed us.
Yeah,
well.
they weren't that good. I agree, Jim. They were lucky.
Listen, they pressed us well, yeah. But let's have it right. If we had Mason Mount on that pitch, I don't think they would have won that game.
No, they wouldn't.
I definitely know that they would not have won that game.
I don't know.
The one thing that we missed from Mason Mount, I'd say, is just the transitions.
So when everyone comes at Mason Mount, when everyone comes at Mason Mount and says, "Oh, he's not a chance creator. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do this." Yeah, all right. Let's have it right. In the big games, he's our most clutch player. Look at Bruno Fernandes.
I agree with you on that.
Look at Bruno Fernandes skying his penalty, bruv. Do you know what I mean? It's clutch moments that Mason Mount turns up in.
Havertz scored in our last 2 big games. But
Havertz has been. I feel like he's been. I don't know what it is. He's just off at the minute. And that's down to playing with Lukaku. Lukaku signing has thrown a spanner in the works. Believe it. It's thrown a spanner in the works, and they need to gel and they need to work with each other. And also, the player that we did really need was Pulisic. So when you have a Pulisic and Mount in that team, what you have is technical ability, you have guile, you have pressing, you have movement, and you can feed Lukaku like that. With Werner and Lukaku up top, it was, to be fair to Tuchel, he says, "Oh, I made a few wrong decisions." There's not much he could have done. He didn't really have the option. So I don't blame Tuchel. And to a point,
Johnny, I do, Johnny, a bit. I do.
No, you can't blame him. He didn't have options, bruv. He didn't have Mount. Have Pulisic, and they're the two players we need in this game.
He still could have played a 3-4-3 though, in my eyes, and not done the 3-5-2.
Yeah, but he did that second half, right? And the moment he did that in second half, City were coming at us even more.
But that's because
that's what he was worried about. So in the first half, Jem, we were poor, and we pegged back, but we held them 0-0. Now he didn't want to risk it opening it up straight away in the first half. Then when we went 1-0 down, he was forced to make the change, and he made the change. And then you saw them. They could have had 3 goals, man. They could have had 3 goals.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, so you're playing. We're playing for the draw.
You're missing a big point.
No, you're not playing for the draw. You're not playing for the
draw.
draw.
That's what you're saying, because the way we set up, we're playing for the draw then.
No.
Yeah, it looks like you will blame for the draw, yeah.
Didn't have an option.
The way we blame for the draw,
How does that mean
Can I just say something? The last three times we played in a 3-4-3, have we looked like we were going to concede 3 goals against Man City? We haven't. So why have we made this excuse up if we would have gone to a 3-4-3 3 goals? The only reason we would have maybe conceded another goal is because we were behind and we were
behind. But Jem, to play that system, you've got to start Loftus-Cheek. He wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to do that. Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah, so that's on the manager then, Johnny. That's on the manager, mate.
No. That's on him knowing his players and knowing. In my opinion, this game was too big of a game to just throw Loftus-Cheek in there with not enough game time.
You could have played him half a game though. Give him
he brought him on second half. You could arguably say a little bit late, maybe. But you got to remember as well, right? You always stress, Mount needs to be dropped and rested. Well, Jorginho needs rest. He's knackered.
He looks injured, and Kante. Him and Kante were.
Kante apparently wasn't well or something. So let's be honest, right? This doesn't mean this result doesn't mean anything. I'll tell you why it doesn't mean anything, right? This result was everything was in City's favour in this game. Everything. Tactically, the way we were set up, we were forced like that. The personnel that weren't available, the way that we just sort of came out. It was like this was their only and best opportunity to beat us.
We wasn't 100%. Yeah, we wasn't 100%. None of
exactly.
us.
If we're on our game with Mason Mount and Pulisic in this game, we would have buried them. And I guarantee.
I know. I don't fear Johnny. I don't fear this man. I watched the game. I was there. Yeah, we were dealing with in the first half. They had tons of the ball, but they had no fucking answer. We were dealing with it, even when we weren't playing that great going forward.
But Jem, what I'm saying to you is when you watched us, right? Every time we got the ball, there was no outlet from our midfield.
I agree.
Right?
I said that.
And the only ones that can do that can break the press is a Kovacic, but Kovacic was so pegged back, right? So he couldn't do it. Kante can't do it, and Jorginho can't do it because that's not their game. The only players that can do that is a Mason Mount or a Loftus-Cheek, right? Or
Johnny,
a
you're spitting
Pulisic.
facts right
Can
now,
I just
bro.
say something,
Or a
Johnny? There,
Pulisic
I'm sure
dropping in
Kovacic
deep.
can do it
Bro.
because he used to do it for Real
No,
Madrid.
but
though.
he's pegged back. So he was
Kovacic
never.
used to do it for Real
No,
Madrid.
but he's never. What you got to understand is he was never in the right positions to break their press because he's not in that. He's not in that. He's not
To
got
break
like
the
a
press, you
Kante.
can't do it by yourself. You have to have our midfielders.
Yeah, and because we're so pegged back, there was no outlet for him. So even if he did dribble off, even if he dribbled past two players, right, he'd have another block of City players to break through, and no Lukaku Werner to be seen. And that's why you missed the link of Mason Mount in that midfield.
Let's be honest. The press was fantastic. They pressed us off the pitch. On top of that, in order to break the press like that, you have to move the ball quickly, and you have to at least pass it 5 to 6 times to find a soft spot in this press. And we didn't do that. We had it
and they
1 or 2 times, and then we gave the ball away every time.
And on top of that, because our wing backs were pegged back every single time, that's where you overlap. And once you break their press, once you break their press, it's the wing backs you rely on. All right, that get into a position a bit forward to then link up in the middle and attack. Now, when I was asked the question on the space, what do I think is the weakness in our team? My answer was the wing backs. Now, I'm not saying the wing backs are not good quality, but I feel going through a whole season with Alonso and Aspie as wing backs is not going to be. It will work in certain games, but you're going to get found out like we did.
But you won't have anything offensively, Johnny, and that's my issue with it. They should be giving more, you know. And the problem with Alonso the other day, and I was watching.
Pep found us out. That's what
he was up against Walker. It was just like you got Alonso against one of the quickest guys in the Premier League, running up and down the pitch and making it like taking the piss out of him, going backwards, backwards, and he didn't know what to do.
I would have brought Chilwell on, mate. Honestly, I would have brought Chilwell on because at least he's got a bit more trickery about him, a bit more. I don't know. He's just got more pace as well, and I feel like if he did burst forward, he's got the capability to get back. If we lost the ball.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
If you have to make those many
I got to duck out, lads. Big up everyone, yeah.
The 3 wins that we got.
Big up, Johnny.
That we got against City last year. Did Alonso play any of those games?
No.
Yeah, the cup game.
One of them.
Against Man City.
Which one?
That was that.
The cup game.
The Premier League game. It wasn't the cup game.
Okay,
It was the Premier League one.
This is what I'd say, right?
Just
Do
quickly
not
read
read
this
into
donation
this.
out. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Yeah,
You can
go
go. JJ Bridge with donation. Thank you. We missed Mount and Pulisic. Big up, Johnny, is what he says there. Big up to him. Thank you for the donation. Go on, VJ.
Yeah. So what I was saying is we don't have to read into this particular game too much. The reason being, I mean, yes, Johnny came in and then advocated for Mount playing in this particular system, and it could have worked properly. All would have gone fine and all that. But without Mount playing in that particular game, we never would have known if he would have been successful or not. So I'm not going to go on ifs and buts here. Yes, we didn't have availability of players, and that's that. It is what it is. If Mount is not available, I'm not going to say, you know what, if Mount has been there, we would have won the game. That's kind of unfair on the other players, right? So let's not go to that conclusion. But then moving forward, the way that I think is like when I saw that last game, the only particular issue that I found out was the midfield and the attackers were not combining. And to be honest, Werner was trying to do something that Mount would have been doing in the earlier games. He tried to tackle people. I mean, he dropped in deep and then he tried tackling. I mean, it worked for a few attempts, but then it did not work as well. But then it was a good try from Werner is all that I'm trying to say. I mean, he's shown some potential and he deserves to play in that particular lineup, though he might, today it did not work out between Werner and Lukaku. And I'd say, to an extent, that also had to do with Lukaku. And it also had to do with our midfield, right? When things come into the equation, I still feel that Werner-Lukaku combination could work. And my question for you guys is that we've got Juventus in like a couple of days' time. If at all you would see, you would want to see a change in the system, what would it be? And would you like Ziyech to play in the system just because it's a Champions League game?
I think Ziyech will start. Because of European football.
I don't think Juventus is not going to present the same challenges as City did, first of all, right? Yeah. They don't present the same challenges. They're not going to press us the way they did, and they're not going to just have the solutions. So that's the first thing. I don't know if we need to look at that game and compare it to this game. we're looking at Juventus, I'm saying that we need to go back to what worked for us. We need to go back to our 3-4-3. We need to find the most fit midfielders. If that means resting Conte and playing somebody like Ruben Loftus-Cheek in his place for the most fit players, the most informed players, then you do that. I'm sorry, you do that. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
All right, Jim.
We would have done this
Jim,
anyway.
I've got to go, mate.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot as well.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Where you going? You can't go anywhere. You sick.
No, listen. Someone ringing me because my 17 years old is getting the scholarship for Brentford City, League 2. So the Brentford club be trying to get in touch with me about it. So I'm gonna ring them back now.
All right, congratulations.
Yes, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've got my lad one play for Hull City, and I've got my 17 years old who want to try to get a scholarship for Brentford League 2. So they be ringing me now. I'm in the stream with you guys. So I got to go and I speak to you soon, guys.
I've got people downstairs waiting.
Take care, guys. Have a good day.
Bye. But guys, thank you very much as always. Big stream, over 2 hours, nearly 2.5 hours long as well. Big up to everyone in the chat, the panel as well. Redneck Couch, VJ, Dan, Declared, Fatal. Are you saying, man?
I'm just here.
He's eating.
Listening to Dust Minerals by Johnny. Not much I've got to say. I think everyone's already said it enough, though. So let's just focus on the next game. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, anyway, we move. We've got to do the Champions League review of Juventus soon as well. Maybe tomorrow or next day. I'm not too sure yet. I'll let you know. And then we've got Southampton, haven't we, next, which is the next Premier League game. So lots to review. And then let's hope we bounce back, eh? Let's hope we bounce back.
Yeah. And, before reviewing, we need a preview.
Right,
before
a preview for Juventus.
We need a preview.
Yeah.
Guys, we've got a super chat from Blue Clouds TV. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I do actually. It's good you told me that. Thank you very much. Big up to Blue Clouds TV as well. It says big up to you all, my brothers. Big up to you, my guy. Thank you very, very much for the donation as well. He says he's all right, man. You can always rewatch it, my guy. Can always rewatch it. You haven't missed much other than us just maybe Clash Rift being reactory and some other things.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
We move. But guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Peace.
VIP, still low key. Like bando, bitch, oh please, yeah. Brand new whip, no keys, yeah. Get down on knees, yeah.